Alright guys, and welcome to Dope Check episode number 58. Major 3 is done, and the big talking point of the day is whether Rostermania is going to absolutely pop off after this event. LA Thieves, the super team, they finally got over the line and actually won something. FaZe fall short, don't even make it to the Sunday for the first time in some time, and joining them, not on the Sunday, for the first time in the history of the CDL, these two teams didn't make it. That's OpTic Texas. Do they need to do something after the big storylines around Toronto and Mercules? Roster changes are apparently happening today behind the scenes. We have plenty to talk about, gentlemen. It is good to be back. Don, how's it going? I know that I brought a lot of energy in the intro. You probably want me to just turn it down a little bit because, you know, I know you've been feeling slightly under the weather, so I'll try my best.
That was a fantastic intro. I'm happy to be here, and I am a little sick, so excuse me if I, start coughing or doing stuff like that. But, Major was lit. Here to talk about some COD, man. Let's do it.
How are we all? How is everyone?
It's good to be
We've got
back.
a lot of people in the stream. We've got everyone wanting to talk about this major. What's just happened? Guess what? Straight back into it this week as well. None of this break, no nothing. We got to talk about roster changes and stuff like that. We haven't got a chance to make a goddamn roster change. The games are back Friday. That's 4 days from now. We've had Dashy put up a stream last night playing some Warzone. A few clips from him saying, we want to win. Well, at least I do.
He did say that,
yeah. I mean, I don't, you don't mean it in any other way, just saying, like, I'm not speaking on behalf of my other teammates, but just know I want to win. It's just funny the way he said it. Yeah, the major was fire. I think our bracket wasn't even that bad, to be honest with you, considering the issues of Ben Beans, and that's what we're going to talk about too. But listen, this show's going to be a very good one, man. I can tell. We're closing. We're coming into the closing parts of the season. Major 4 champs and EWC left. So yeah, let's get straight into this show, man.
Absolutely. Thanks to PrizePicks supporting today's content as well. Wouldn't be possible without them. If you guys want to get involved and claim your $50 on your first $5 pick, use code BreakingPoint and download the app in the description box below. All of that good stuff. Let's get right into it. We're going to stop talking about whether 100 Jack Scumps could take down a gorilla. We did that in the pre-show. Let's actually talk about some Call of Duty. I wanted to start with the event overall, the feeling around it. I know that there was some reaction today on Reddit that people were saying, look, those who actually attended, it was maybe better than it looked online. There was obviously a couple of camera angles. Look, is it the greatest event we've ever seen? No. Was it in the best event venue we've ever seen? No. But given the circumstances where it had to be, I think they did a pretty reasonable job of it. That was just my overall perception. It wasn't like plagued by loads of tech issues or any of that type of stuff. Like, we've had worse events in the past. Look, was it Dallas? Was it the Toronto events they've run before? No. In an ideal world, would every event be better? Yeah. But it was better than having it with no fans in an arena, like what happened when Ravens failed to host an event a couple of years ago. So, like, some credit belongs to Miami for at least running one. There's other organizations out there, looking at you FaZe, looking at you even Thieves, who have not even run an event over the last couple of years. So at least they're doing something for the fans. And again, they made a run to Sunday, so it made a bit of a storyline, right? But yeah, definitely a talking point coming out of the weekends, because while actually the Sunday was real entertaining and there were certainly some good games and big storylines, it wasn't quite the spectacle of the first couple of events of the year, Trey.
Yeah, I think all the pictures and videos you saw online, I think the event was actually pretty cool in terms of, like, the fans going there. We've got some funny chants, like OpTic sucks now and stuff like that.
That was crazy, actually.
Like, I think the event was good in that aspect. I just feel like the quality of the event, from what it looked like and from what everyone was saying in terms of, like, it literally looked like there was at a gymnasium. It literally
Well, I think
like,
it literally was, to be fair.
Yeah. And this is what I said on our pre-show, on our pre-show, was like how we can go from, like, having these somewhat like semi-stadiums of, like, hockey places and we've got, like, seats on the floor and then seats on the side, like bowl-like, and, like, it looks like a really nice setup, to go into a gymnasium, and then we go back to, like, a fire-ass spot, which it sounds like what Dreamhack's going to be from what Adam AP was tweeting.
We'll have a look at it.
You know, that's the inconsistencies that kind of blow my mind about it. Because let's take the CWO days done. Every event was pretty much the exact same.
Yeah.
Nothing really changed apart from, like, you know, we were still in a big hall. Maybe a hall was smaller than the next, but like it was always in a convention center of some sort. Or maybe Champs was in like a stadium or something along those lines. But each event was very, very, very similar. Then now we get, like, you know, we're either chucked in a gymnasium or we're chucked in, you know, a nice little spot. But like you said, we can't even sit there and, you know, complain about it because the teams that we deem that are, you know, giving away bigger salaries to bigger players and, you know, deem have more money than some people aren't even putting on events themselves. So you've really got to look at it and be like, how is Thieves and FaZe not putting on events? Because right now it just literally looks like OpTic out of the big dogs only care about hosting events. So that's when you can't even argue at OpTic. Like, yeah, OpTic having a bad season or whatever like that, but shout out to OpTic for putting on a goddamn event. Thieves been in the league for how long? And they've not even tried hosting an event from what I know. So either that's on them or the league. So I just, you know, regardless of what it looked like, shout out to Miami for even, like, you know, putting themselves forward and hosting another one for you know, second time in a row. So, you know, that's what I gotta say on it.
No, I agree. I mean, let's talk about where we go from here, right? Because it's DreamHack Dallas next up. We got some tweets about it today from Adam AP, and like, this is what it's all about. I'm actually really excited for this event because I know that there's going to be lots of people who have not been in the COD scene pre-CDL and haven't, like, experienced what these events were like. Because, like, when I heard about it being DreamHack Dallas big convention hall, I was like, okay, they're just going to run it like Anaheim. And that's basically almost exactly what this looks like. So this is what Adamat put out today. This is the hall. They have like 100,000 square foot or maybe like a million. Yeah, 100,000 square foot is this arena. The whole area is like 1 million square foot of all types of stuff happening. But this is what it's going to look like in Dallas. You know, you've got the stage on the right-hand side of the back. All the production stuff will happen back here. The PPAs will be behind it. The areas and everything will be behind it. Crowd seated here. You got the watch party set up. So I don't know who that's going to be, but, you know, we'll see. And then they've got a B stage. So this is probably the talking point, really. I mean, there's a few talking points, obviously, of this, but the key talking point is this is a 4-day event condensed into 3 days, right? So typically the CDL majors are 18 matches across a period of 4 days. So they play 4 games, 5 games, 5 games, 4 games. This is DreamHack's only a 3-day event, so they're condensing everything into 3 days. And what that means is, for the first time in a long time, we are going to have simultaneous matches. And I've wanted this for ages. I think it's how it should be. It's how it used to be back in the day, certainly for the early stages of tournaments. It also makes it more fun, like there's more things to watch. But there's going to be a Bravo stage here. And this stage is going to, on the first day, have... I mean, I imagine they're probably going to play 8 or 9 games on day one to probably get it up to the same point as normal, where there's 7 teams left for Saturday. So lots of teams get eliminated on the first day. It's just how it's going to be. Maybe that's not ideal, but, like, I'm perfectly happy with doing it this way. And then the B stage on Saturday, Sunday is going to be used for challenges. So it's, you know, it's all going to be going on. And speaking of challenges, this piece right here, you guys can see on the left, is the challenger setups. So, you know, this is basically the same setup that I had at Anaheim. It's not dissimilar in the setups and the layout. Like, I only went to one Anaheim, but that's kind of was the vibe. So yeah, listen, exciting stuff, right?
Is it not crazy that, like, this is what I'm talking about, inconsistencies? You know, I'm by far, I'm not even complaining right now. I'm just saying, how are we gonna have 4-day events for like 5 years straight, and then boom, out the blue, just we're gonna have a 3-day one, and then boom, back back to back to
Yeah,
champs. We're gonna have a 4-day event.
yeah, I do hear
You know what I'm saying? It's like the minors, for example. Like, bro, if I was an organization in the CDL, or at least a player, I'd still be complaining the fact that you done 2 minors at the start of the year and didn't finish out the year doing minors. We've lost out on extra points, more matches at the start as well. Like, what was it? Qualifier 1 had 7 matches, so you had 70 points you could get. And then you had a minor, which was an extra whatever
30
points.
points
And then
if you win it.
And then after Major 2, it's like, oh, we're going back to 5 matches and no minors.
Yeah.
Like, that's just mind blowing to me. And then we go to this event, and this event by far, like, it looks amazing. By the way, so shout out Adam AP, shout out Dreamhack and everyone like that. It just seems kind of crazy to me that we've got to go now. We're changing up the format once again just for one event. Now we're going to a 3-day event, and you know, we're going to be alternating between B stage and main stage for games.
Ben says, I don't think the 3-day thing is a problem. The bigger issue is event quality consistency. No, completely agree. I think 3 days, to me, is fine. I've actually no issue with the 3-day
I'm not
event
complaining about
at
it.
all.
It just makes no sense to me because we've had 4-day events for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Yeah, like, I get it. I mean, obviously, they're partnering with Dreamhack. There's so much other things going on in the venue. And look, it's good to have Adam App back in the scene. He knows what he's doing. Obviously, MLG, Esports Engine, they got acquired. Adam App couldn't contribute for some time. And now he's back in with Dreamhack, heading up that program. And this is kind of everything that Adam App wants out of esports, right? And also from a sustainability perspective, it makes a lot more sense because as much as these arenas that we go to are fantastic, and hopefully we can continue doing so, from an economic viability perspective, it makes more sense to hire out a whole arena for one weekend and run about 6 different esports tournaments there than it does to hire out a single arena for 4 days to run a single tournament there. And you know, so I think we're going to be seeing more of this. I think that's the bottom line, and that probably is a good thing, to be honest, Don. I mean, I know you've got probably fond memories of when Adam App used to run the tournaments.
I was gonna say, I hope that like he gets to at least run a tournament like this once a year, just because like this is just like, to me, this is the core experience. This is gonna be like the best experience you can get. Like, to be honest, the Alpha and Bravo is so amazing because on Alpha you have like, let's say we have Thieves versus FaZe, and then on Bravo, shit, we got Boston versus fucking Vegas Falcons. Like, we don't really need to have a whole Alpha slot for them anyways, respectfully. Like, and then sometimes what's good about it is like some delay happens, or like there's just a big gap in between matches, which has been better recently. Then you just turn on Bravo real quick. You have both open. You know, there's no problem having multiple games going on at once, especially for Friday. The tournament's just beginning anyways. I also like that Challengers has their stage. I know, I think it was Toronto where Challengers had like their own stage.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but now they'll be on their own stage. But that was like, even that stage was in like some side part. Like even in Boston, I'm pretty sure. When I played in Boston Challengers, they had like their own place, but it was like you had to go across the street.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like this Challengers,
it was in like some blues
like,
bar they did it last year. It was actually fire.
It was fire. It was cool. But I'm saying, like, if you're just going to the event, you had to go across the street to see them. You know what I'm saying? There's a possibility that you never check Challengers out if you went to that event. This, you're gonna be able to see them for sure. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have a good spotlight on them this event. So I think that's really good. Like I said,
the energy in this room is gonna be like mega, honestly, especially
that's why Adam AP's the GOAT though, because he's definitely sat in one of these meetings with the league or something like that, and respectfully, the league just want to chuck Challengers in some other building. Like, they don't really give a fuck about Challengers. They don't give a fuck about the amateurs. Now, I'll say that I'll say that out loud. But Adam AP's probably gone in there and gone, oh no, we're treating Challengers nice this event. This is probably the first event where Challengers are gonna feel like they've actually like got an event to go to rather than just like showing up. Like, the way I see it right now is Challengers show up to a local LAN that's hosted by a team and just forgot about.
Adam Ab tweeted out, amateur play is the most important part of any ecosystem. Of course, we were going to go hard, he says. So, I mean...
I have one more thing to say. I hope, like, when the Challengers are playing on that stage, that they're playing on the pro equipment. I hope so. It doesn't make sense for them that like the pros to play on the pro equipment there on Friday and then they take it off. I don't know how it's gonna work, but I pray the challengers gets to play on like 240 hertz monitors, fucking the league PCs. I hope they get to play on those because normal challengers equipment is god awful. Like the pros are complaining about their PCs, the challengers PCs and monitors are even worse. So
there was a lot of talk about that in Dallas, to be fair, yeah. Ben says it's also one of the biggest challenges events of the year. Auto qual spots, yeah, exactly. I mean, to be honest, the venue setup, this will feel like Challengers Champs, really. Like this will feel like the biggest event.
Well, yeah, because the winner, goes
to
to
EWC. Exactly, yeah, which is a mega
that's huge
outcome as well, yeah. So, and we're gonna see. I think the Saturday, the big Challenger games are going to be happening on the B stage. So
that's why this is really good because Adam AP running it, he's actually the challenger players are actually going to feel like some type of way that they now get to qualify, and it looks like they're being watched as well at the same time.
Yeah.
Like before, they got thrown in some dusty ass place and was like, "Yeah, if you win this event, like you go to Riyadh," and they got to walk across the fucking way to go qualify, and it just feels like you're not even at an event. This one actually feels like you're at the event.
I also think
go on.
This time. Yeah, they're gonna feel like pros. They're gonna feel, and Don, the like in a situation like this, they're gonna be more nervous.
Yeah,
this is gonna prove if you're an actual dog or not because this is your event, for a challenger player where you either go to EWC in front of like everyone too. Because let's be real, like a lot of the fans ain't just cruising over across the street to a hotel to go watch challenges.
Right.
What I love about this setup is it gives you the option, right? Because like, let's say Friday or even during Saturday, there's going to be maybe the game on the main stage is like, Boston versus Surge. And that's a good game. I'd want to watch it, sure. But like, people are going to say, all right, it's not OpTic FaZe. Let me dip out. Let me wander through the Challengers pit, see what's going on here, see how, my boy Yoda King's getting on down there, whatever. And then someone's playing on the B stage, and it just makes a much better experience for that. Because what I'm saying is when OpTic, and I'm not saying this isn't going to happen, but when OpTic went out of the tournament or OpTic had played on, they'd beaten Falcons, and everyone just cleared out of the venue for a little bit before they came back in later, right? Because people don't want to want the next series, all good, but in this tournament, they don't have to, if they want to step out after watching the one series, they can go to the Challengers pit. They can go to the Halo. They can go to the Counter-Strike. Like, it's just, and then it's the same for other people over there as well. Like, if you're a Counter-Strike fan, you're watching the IEM and the series is over, you might come and watch the COD for a bit, which you're allowed to do. I think you need like an add-on ticket to guarantee a seat. But with the Dreamhack Dallas ticket, you can get anywhere in the building whenever you want. So you can go watch a Halo, you can watch whatever.
That's why the team passes are a little bit more expensive for Dreamhack for the challenger players, because each player gets to go and actually enjoy the whole event and not just COD. They can go anywhere with that ticket. And this is going back to the challenger shit. Like, listen, I saw a bunch of people say how inhumane this event was for them, and I can believe it too.
Yeah, I got a Reedy tweet. I didn't expect to be putting up a Reedy tweet today, but I got a Reedy tweet. You weren't allowed in the event unless you were playing. People were getting forfeited maps because no one told them that it was starting quicker. That Uber was late. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I hate the fact FaZe are running challenges because they don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't like it. The way they run the tournaments on the weekend is fucking ass. The way they talk to people is fucking ass. And then you're telling me this Challenger event, you can't go watch the Challenger games. There was no stream. You're not allowed to watch anything. And if you weren't playing, you go sit outside in fucking 35-degree heat. Come on, bro. What are we doing? Yeah, that's what Reedy said. I mean, obviously, Reedy not been around the scene for some time, but he was turned up in Miami. He lives out there now, doesn't he? Is that right, Trey? He lived out there for a
bit? He lives in Florida, yeah.
Yeah. So great seeing a few faces at the event. Honestly, it's unbelievable how far backward everything has gone. The way Challenger players being treated is an absolute joke. Orgs are dropping over 5k to send teams out, and they're being shoved outside to sit on picnic benches in 84-degree heat. And I remember, like, some of the games, you couldn't even watch them played. There weren't even streams. people were going out there saying that please can someone like periscope this match or whatever, and I'm like, bro,
After I won the event and no one knows. After I won the event and no one knows how the fuck anyone played.
Yeah, there's no highlights. Like we got nothing, right? It's crazy. After I had like a 1.7 in one series, and all I had was a scoreboard, and even then it wasn't like a proper scoreboard. It was just put together on Google Sheets because you pick them together from Periscope streams.
No wonder everyone says there's no talent in challenges because motherfucker, you can't even get to watch the talent.
Yeah, exactly. You could get something done.
Not even just a little simple like, you know, I heard the league told people they're not allowed to periscope. Why?
Yeah, I heard that too.
Why? We're not selling it to Netflix.
Exactly.
We're just trying to show people that an amateur scene actually fucking exists.
That's like that is always the shit that pisses me off the most, because I'm sure there's some stupid rule in place that like says, oh no, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's like, well, are we trying to keep the scene alive or not? Like, does everyone just not want to have a job in a few years?
I'm going to say this right now. Next event, Dreamhack Dallas is going to feel like champs. That's going to be the champs of the year. Because ain't Kitchener going to feel like no goddamn champs. People coming in my chat rap, they were like, when I was streaming Warzone, they were like, yo, Trey, can't wait to see you at Kitchener. I was like, we ain't going, twin.
Right, I'll go if the conditions are right. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean the conditions are right? You turn around and you turn around, it's a street full of houses. What do you mean the conditions are right? Throw me in another goddamn school. I'm not having it.
I do hear you on that, though. Also, like, I think, especially for Toronto hosting champs there, you got to be begging that OpTic make it, right? Like, imagine OpTic don't make it. Oh.
I don't even think OpTic making it's going to change much.
Well,
right now.
I mean, maybe not, but I mean, you got to think little. You got
to think the gymnasium might have had more fans.
We'll see what happens. Look, at the end of the day, you got people in your chat saying, "Can't wait to see you at Kitchener." So they must be going. Right, so we got some commitment out here, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, some motherfuckers that live there.
Yeah, maybe. Do you have any drama with Reedy back in the day, Dom? I just thought it was pretty funny. Like, do you have any beef with Reedy back in the day? He was beefing most people when he used to compete.
Nah.
You chill?
Nah, I never had beef with Reedy. I don't think so. I think wasn't he on like really bad teams?
He was on Elevator.
Bro, I knew you were going to say something like that. Don't just going to say, shit, he was on some ass teams. Like, he wasn't even like, he wasn't.
When he was beefing at Aches, I don't even remember they had this like Aches beef, and Aches was like, I don't even know who this guy is. Okay, good man.
Reedy.
Just
there's a story. There's a story I won't that I won't tell. Just know, I feel like I saved people. I saved someone's career. I feel like.
Goddamn.
It was a late night little party thing. You know, it was an argument between Reedy and someone else, and you know how it is. Like if you swing in COD, like you're gonna get banned. Like if you dart a right hook, you're gonna get banned. So I stopped this one person in particular from swinging a right hook.
Interesting. Okay. You said you weren't going to tell the story first.
I think that's debatable.
Tell most of the story.
What do you mean it's debatable?
I was supposed to talk about me and Dashy about to fight.
Oh yeah, true. Do you want to just go for that real quick?
Oh my god.
Yeah, we could talk about it real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if me and Brandon actually fought, I don't think we would have got banned. Personally, that's why looking back at it.
No. Dashy wouldn't have got banned. You would have got banned.
You would have got banned.
You probably would have got banned. Oh, you guys do know.
I think at the time we were both like super, like the best players. We were both playing in the All-Star game.
People do know who it is. It was Zinni. It was Zinni. Yeah.
Oh, Zinni and Reedy.
Yeah, it was New Orleans. It was like 2016 or 17. I think they're both drunk, and I think Zinni just like starts talking about how bad Reedy is or something like that, and then it gets a bit more personal, and then they start two guys like fucking start moving forward, and I'm like, shit, bro, I don't want Reedy getting banned, I don't want Zinni getting banned, like let's start moving it along.
So Don, you want to go for the story from scratch, like what event it was? Like...
Okay. All right, I'll do it kind of quick because he said it, but like he didn't. From his point of view, I remember this way, like in my opinion, better. this is what happened from my point of view. I forgot what he said exactly, but we're scrimming OpTic. So that year there was a pre-land, and then for some reason before tournaments we always just scrimmed OpTic. I don't know why, but like we literally like went to the hex quarters for Fort Worth. We played them, and then every time because we went up 2-0 versus them and got reverse swept, kind of like how fucking Surge just happened. What happened to Surge and then they lost. That's what happened to us. So, but like when we would scrim them, I would literally just drop like 50s on them. Like I would literally slam them, and then they're obviously like feel away because they fucking beat me for a chip. They're just like, oh, this shit is fake. Da 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 da. So Teej was like talking shit, like Teej, but like Teej is my boy though. So like Teej is like yapping. He's just like, Don, you fucking kill horn, baby. Da 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 da. I'm like, Teej, you're fucking awful. Da 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 da. That's my boy though. So it's not like serious. And Brandon was like, me and Brandon were fucking turned. You know what I'm saying? We was off the yes sir skis. So we was tweaking. All right. So we're going hard. And then Damon starts yapping. Damon's always like been hella nice to me. Damon's like, yo, Donnie, bro, you're a kill horn so hard, man. Da 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 da. And I'm not feeling no type of way because I love Damon. Damon's just him and Teej are just yapping, right? I'm yapping, whatever. It's just a fucking scrim before the tournament. Then Brandon comes out of nowhere. He's like, nah, Brandon's turned, by the way. He's like, nah, you're fucking kill horn so fucking hard, bro. And for some reason, that shit just triggered the fuck out of me. Like Teej and Damon were saying the same shit, but they didn't get me mad because I just didn't care. But obviously, I'm like thinking like people are like, Dashy's the best in the game. I think I'm better than him. And I think he was a fucking kill whore. Why the fuck? He's like, nah, Don, you're a fucking kill whore. What the fuck are you doing on Seaside on this map? I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, I got hella mad. I'm like, what the fuck? You of all people are calling me a kill whore? You're like the biggest kill whore ever. Like, what the fuck? And then it just kept going back and forth from there. But like, that is what triggered me. Like, they were all calling me a kill whore, but when Brandon said that I'm a kill whore, I got tight. So then we got in each other's face, what he said is true. Like, I put my hand on his shoulder. I'm like, you're a fucking kill whore. Like, don't fucking come in, try to like tell me anything. He's like, don't touch me. Of course, you say don't touch me. What do? I touch him again.
You good boyed him.
Damn.
Yeah, I touched him again. And then I think he broke my necklace. I had like some like gold necklace at the time. He like tried to like swing and like grab and like pull my necklace off. I tried to swing and then it just got broken up. Like that's it. Like no one like connected, but he broke my shit. He low-key owed me some money for that. But
all right, we'll use this to start promoting a GoFundMe for you.
Yeah.
I rate that,
He low-key owed me some money for that shit.
How much you think it was?
Yeah, I think they should have let us fight. I don't think they would have banned our shit.
And you took it back of the scrim room, or you would have got banned for sure.
I don't think they would have banned our shit.
Talking about 2019 around like mid-year.
I don't think they would have banned us, bro. Personally.
It all depends, right? So like, listen, if two people fight and it's like you know, end of it, it's just like nah, we cool, fuck it. But listen,
the league back then was getting a bit serious though, weren't it? Like that season,
yeah, it was
especially.
a cheap ass chain. It was a cheap ass chain. That shit was low key turning my neck green. It wasn't no real shit. It wasn't like this. It wasn't like this. It was when motherfuckers first started getting money, so that's why I never cared about it. I'm like,
yeah, $60 budget on the GoFundMe, all good.
Yeah. It was a cheap. It was like a Versace Versace chain. It was probably like 200.
We'll gas it up though for sure.
Hell yeah, we'll gas it up. Yeah.
It was about 5 bands.
If he break these, I'm gonna have to yeah. I'm gonna have to I had to go in the motherfucking pantry.
I don't think I've ever had an argument. I don't think I've ever been in an argument fight like that before.
You ever been in a fight?
Story done.
I've never been in a fight ever.
I've been in hella fights, like growing up, for sure.
I never been.
I feel like
personally,
I feel like I won all of them besides one time. One time I tried to fight I was like in 6th grade. I tried to fight an 8th grader. And I don't feel like he whooped my ass, but I feel like I didn't do no damage to him. But like
one man versus one gorilla.
And then real fights, what people don't understand is like real fights, they don't last long. You know what I'm saying? Like they probably like a 30-second fight in real life. That's long as fuck, bro. Like that's
I'm lying. Like, wait, I swear on my life I've never been in a fight ever.
Yeah, I believe you. There's plenty of
Motherfuckers
people
stand
who've
by.
never been in a fight. You don't have to get in a fight. Like you don't have to fight people.
All right, fucking like, all right, man. Like, watch me next event. Like, start boxing,
Yeah,
man.
you
Up,
don't have to
like.
fight people, bro. You
Trey's been in the gym. I've seen him.
don't have to
Yeah.
fight people, bro.
Motherfucker called me lying because I wait. Surely I'd look like less of a. I don't know. People think you're less of a man for not fighting.
Nah.
What? Trey didn't grow up fighting? Nah, he's a liar, bro. That guy was chefing man up.
You're definitely not less of a man because you're not fighting. But I do think you should, as you get older, you should know how to defend yourself at least, or like or like move correctly to not have to defend yourself. Yeah, be a peaceful
Oh
guy.
yeah, for sure. I think I
Yeah.
can protect myself.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I'll just start practicing against that gorilla man.
Been watching VOD.
That was my story. I feel like one last thing about that story. I feel like after that we actually got like closer. Like I kind of fuck with Brandon way more after that. Like sometimes like if you have like a little moment like that, it just makes shit like not that deep. You know, like you're just like more cool after that. So I love Brandon. So
I feel you. Fire story. Appreciate the story time, Don. That was a good one. I mean, it's nice, you know, having a little nostalgia trip, given we're going back to like a proper event. So it's gonna be good fun. It's gonna be
The only
good
thing
fun.
we're missing now is a Hilton bar.
Ah,
You get me a Hilton goddamn bar at Dreamhack Dallas. Oof.
talk to K-Sun, see if we can figure something out.
Oh my lord.
Let's run it up. Let's talk about a tournament. Who won? Who lost? Who's a fraud? Who needs to blow it up? They finally did it. The super team finally got the win. We thought they were going to win. They turned up to the tournament and they won. They needed to win. The bracket opened up for them. The pressure was kind of on. I thought what happened on the Sunday would kind of happen where you're going to get tested at some point. If you're Thieves, you're very rarely going to win an event without coming under some sort of pressure. They go down 2-0, get punched in the mouth a bit, and then they just switched a gear and played the best card. I mean, look, I've been pretty adamant that I think Thieves play the best card. And that's what they decided to do. Obviously, it was an interesting weekend in the sense that I think that Ghosty and Envoy can probably play better. I don't think that Hydra and Scrap could do much more than they did. I mean, wow. That was certainly a tournament and a half from that duo. I know there was a tweet that went around yesterday that said Scrap and Hydra the new T2P, which people were saying, oh, it's rage bait. But like, we ain't seen a duo like this in a good minute. That's certainly for sure. And it should be no surprise, really, with the way that they formed their team. But yeah, initial thoughts on Thieves. Obviously, the pressure was on them. The super team, there was all this talk. Was the money going to be worth it? Were they going to be able to put the talent to good use? And they executed when it mattered. Okay, you look at their bracket run and you say, well, you know, it could have been harder, which is true. Okay, they don't have to play FaZe. They don't have to play a full-strength Toronto, sure. But they beat who was in front of them, and they did it convincingly, Don.
Yep. I mean, like you said, we picked them to win. I thought they were gonna win, especially just because FaZe's HP just. We'll talk about FaZe at some point, but their HP just hasn't looked good. Scrappy and fucking Hydra, bro. Holy shit, these guys are incredible. I do think Envoy. You said Envoy could play better. I think Envoy played. This is probably his best tournament.
To be fair, he did play real well, yeah. He was good.
I feel like this was his best tournament since like multiple games, because last year he was kind of mid.
Yeah,
honestly,
true.
last year. This is his best tournament in over a year. I mean, he was fucking incredible. Protocol Control, or was it Hardpoint? There were some maps, I can't remember, was it Protocol Control or Hardpoint? Maybe it was a Hardpoint, where he literally went on like a 10 kill streak. I think it was the Hardpoint. Bro, he was doing his fucking thing. And I remember seeing Scrappy get up and like go dill. Like he had to gas his boy up. Like he was going crazy. This team is just great. I mean, the team overall is great. Even Ghosty, like Ghost, you said Ghosty could play better. Here's my thing is that someone has to go negative most of the time. Like he's just the person on their team that's gonna go negative. He's sitting in the hill. I feel like this team played really good. You know, I don't really see much more they could have done better besides beating FaZe. I would have liked to see them play FaZe at least once during the tournament. That's really the only way I can like knock them is I want to see them beat FaZe at some point during the season, or see how they play against FaZe again. Besides that, congratulations to them. And yeah, it was a decent tournament. It was a pretty good tournament.
I mean, like Don said, someone has to go negative when you got Scrap and Hydra just going absolutely rogue like they did. That's why they built this team. I feel like if Scrap and Hydra are having a bad one, then you look at Ghosty or Envoy to step up. That's what a championship running roster does. That's what a so-called super team does. When someone's having a bad one, you at least look at the other three to pick up the slack. Talk about Ghosty saying he could have had a better event. I think this guy was absolutely lights out in S&D. I think he was a very good S&D player for them this weekend. Very clutch in his 1v1s. We saw him against Surge. That game 5 was a bit, scary. I feel like LA Thieves and S&D, they're good, but they can also like throw pretty easily with the way they run around the map. I feel like that's just something you live and die by. I remember Major 1, we spoke to Hydra about their S&D, and they were talking about how he's like a playmaker for him, but in this game it's hard to make a play because it's just so hard for him. He said, and I think Scrappy said it in his interview after they beat Surge, it's if Paco is doing his thing, running around getting first bloods, and it's easy for the whole team because Hydra's not one of these people that I feel like just goes and gets a kill and then throws. He gets his kill and legs it back to his boys, So I feel like that's he's a bit different from the other people that get first bloods or make plays in the league. He actually he definitely wants to stay alive and get back to his boys. They played very well. You got to think about Surge not getting reverse swept as well. I done a tweet about that. Like getting reverse swept to go grand finals is probably the toughest thing that can happen to you in an event. Someone even said to me today they were talking about Surge, basically saying like, oh, do you reckon like with Surge not winning a map, and it could be said with anyone about them going into the finals and just getting slammed. Is it like fatigue or something like that? I was like, listen, end of the day, I don't think it's really fatigue. You can only really blame fatigue if they got reverse swept and then lost the next series. But the adrenaline is crazy in COD. You getting a win to go that far, the adrenaline's crazy. And that's where I feel like LA Thieves gained their momentum and adrenaline for the rest of the tournament by reverse sweeping. Because if you remember back in Major 1, they got reverse swept by FaZe. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
they got finals.
Yeah, they got reverse swept by FaZe, and then that obviously, it works either way. But you reverse sweeping a team to make grand finals is like
you ain't losing at that point.
The biggest dopamine hit of the whole weekend.
Yeah. I can relate to this really well, because I got reverse swept to make grand finals at was it Vegas?
I was going to say, was it Vegas 2019 or 2018?
Yeah.
It was technically
2019.
The 2019
or no, 2018.
season.
You're right.
Yeah,
it
December,
was the 2019 season. Yep. I don't think it's a fatigue thing, just because fatigue for me would be like back in the day, like when I made a losers run at MLG Worlds. Our first match was at 7 in the morning.
Yeah, no, that's fatigue.
and then by the time I got to finals, I had to win 2 best of 7s in finals, and it was fucking 7 p.m.
Oh my god!
And I was 15 years old, no Adderall, nothing. I was fat as hell. So by that time, I needed some food. You know what I'm saying? By 7 p.m., I was actually legitimately fatigued. Like that's fatigue. These guys are playing fucking 3 matches on Sunday and they're fucking teed out of their mind. You know what I'm saying?
The only thing it could be is mental fatigue, like getting reverse
mental fatigue for sure.
Fatigue. But listen, like Don said, like Anaheim, I made a run from losers bracket. It would have been like one of the greatest runs from loser bracket. Before grand finals, I had to go eat a hot dog and a pizza. I ate that on main stage.
Yeah.
Because Fat Trey was definitely fatigued, man. Like you said, waking up.
Fat Don was fatigued as shit.
9 a.m. You got 9 a.m. You're on a straight grind, like bro. Woo, that's fatigue. Motherfuckers don't know fatigue these days, man. You like Don said, you play 3 matches. Motherfucker, you put up on a Thursday, you play 1 match.
Yeah.
And if you win on the Thursday, guess what? You don't play Friday. There ain't no fatigue in this shit.
Bro, and then even on the mental fatigue part, especially like back in the day, you had to win twice. Like these guys have to win one time. Like I don't think fatigue should be a factor. Like you beat Toronto in the losers finals. Like you're beating them with a purpose of winning the whole shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's if there's any fatigue there, that's your mental fatigue gone at that point. That's like you got your dopamine and adrenaline back.
All you gotta do is come out. Like the problem with Surge, honestly, I know we're like talking about Thieves, but since they played against Thieves twice, we gotta kind of talk about both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Surge is just like if they don't win the hard point versus Thieves, they can't win. Like they're not gonna like and versus FaZe. I feel like FaZe and Thieves are better than Surge at search and control. So as soon as I seen Thieves win that hard point in the grand finals, it was over in my eyes. It was so over. Like they had to win the first map.
You've also got to think as well. It got like Surge just sat there thinking they've lost first map as a close map, and they're probably sat there like, nah, there's no way we get 4-0 again, is there?
And then they lose the 1v1 of the search because Neptune, I don't know what he's doing, and like then it was all over.
That's my thing. Like, yeah,
mentally
like after they lose a close hard point and then they lose a 6-5 S&D in their heads as well, Don, and you know how it is.
Yeah.
In their heads, they're thinking, we're gonna get 4-0 again, aren't we? They don't say it. They don't say it, but like it definitely lingers in the mind.
They panned the 04 at one point. I can't remember if it was at their second or
You
third
might need
map.
to rebrand, bro.
He was over. Oh. He got 4-0 swept. Nah. They panned him one time, and I'm like, yeah, just go ahead, pack it up. The problem is with Surge too is like how like it's so hard to keep making finals and then you just don't win a map. Like you don't ever know.
They ain't got the dog in them.
Yeah, and you don't ever know in your career if you're gonna make it back. Like they somehow didn't break down after the first finals. They make it back to another finals and they just get fucking swept again.
Oh, like, how many teams have you seen like break
The thing
down?
is, they've been so close, right? Because they were game 5 in winners finals against FaZe last time. They were game 5 in winners finals against Thieves this time. Like they can compete, but it's just the longer series formats. I mean, the thing is with these longer series formats is that it's not possible to beat Thieves if they just win every single control 3-0, which is currently what they're doing. Like it doesn't actually matter how well Surge played. Because Thieves are always going to win a couple of surges, a couple of half wins over. Like, if Thieves are literally going to beat you every control 3-0, which is what they do, then... And that's more on Thieves than it is on other teams. Like, they're just godlike at that mode. But there's just no beating them. Obviously, Surge would like to have come closer in hindsight, but when there's 2 controls in the best of 7 and you're unreal at it...
This is what I'm going to say about this Surge team. They are unbelievable. Such a talented squad. They beat everyone, but as soon as it comes to finals, they break. Like, horrendously break. And like Don said, he's surprised they didn't break after one finals losing 4-0. Now they've gone back-to-back losing 4-0 in the finals. They could break now. Because they do
so hard, bro.
They do so well against these teams. Every team they play so well against, and then they hit finals, boom, 4-0. What's stopping them now? What's the issue? What is the issue?
Toronto to come back strong next event. FaZe, there's no way FaZe is getting top 6 again. Like it's just so difficult to like make these finals runs and then not convert. You know, it's just tough.
Because it's not like they lost 4-0 to the same team and they're like, oh shit, that's my bogey team now. Like I can't do shit against that team. They've been 4-0'd by FaZe and then 4-0 by Thieves. Both very good teams, but bro. Getting reverse swept by Thieves to make grand finals and then getting 4-0 slammed by Thieves in grand finals is like...
Mentally, it is going to be challenging.
That's mental fatigue because then you leave the series like, fuck, like, are we just like prone silver surfers now?
Like, beat these guys? Like,
are we ever going to win an event? Because we can't even win a map in the grand finals at this point.
Yeah, I think they'll get there, but like you need to make more finals, right?
You can gradually see, like Don said, like you can like the look on 04's face, like you can gradually see with the game scores too that they're just over it. Because first map, close hard point. Second map, fucking close S&D 1v1 takes it to the fucking absolute grueler, and then 3-0 slammed, nearly 100-point clubbed. Like that, they like after those first 2 maps, they were like, "Fuck this shit, bro. Let's just get out of there. Like, I'm done."
take my
we just
like
can't win.
100k or whatever it is for second.
We just can't win a fucking map, man.
It is tough, like not winning a map. It is a tough piece. I think that if Surge go about it mentally the right way, I think they'll be okay, because they should recognize that both finals they've played, they gave themselves opportunities, they just didn't capitalize. But as you say, the difficulty is for teams that make finals and don't win. It's like, okay, well, let's say for Thieves, right? They've obviously lost that finals at the first major to Madrid. Ghosty has, before winning this tournament, he'd come second 4 or 5 times in a row, something like that. So, but for Ghosty, everyone knew that eventually he was going to get over the line because he's playing with a great team that were going to make more finals, and Ghosty was always going to be back in the finals. Whereas that's the issue for the Surge team, is like, as highly as I rate them, they've made 2 finals in a row now, which is incredible, honestly. Like, and the team and Rambo and everyone deserves a load of credit for putting together this team. Okay, criticism at the start of the year was justified, I thought. But they deserve a lot of credit for making a team that's able to do this. But equally, there are other competitive teams out there. Toronto, FaZe, maybe other teams come back stronger in the future as well. So, I mean, who knows when, if ever, this team makes another grand finals. They might fall short thirds or something in a couple of tournaments, then they never get the chance. So, look, I'd love to see Nasty lift the chip. He is, I mean, I want to say he's a top 3 AR in the game right now. Certainly right up there. Easily top 5, maybe top 3. I mean, I've got Scrap, you probably got Cell, and then I've probably got Nasty in there, really. I don't know what it is on map 4, but he absolutely pisses on that. Everyone he plays on map 4. I don't understand. People were talking about it. It's like map 4 Nasty's God mode, and then he plays Toronto and goes 31 in 14 on the map 4 to 100-point club. And I was like, this is actually for real.
Nah, 04 getting 04 twice in finals is like,
it's poetic shit.
It's poetic.
He just needs to see one. He needs to see one go through. He'll be all right.
PD says, thanks to the 5, Don had back-to-back second-place losses to the Dynasty and AW. How did he deal with it?
I lost to OpTic at AW, like, I don't
Mac
know.
and a Pepsi Max.
It was kind of just like whatever. Like, obviously I was upset, but like UMG DC, that was my first finals. That's what I said to Serge. Like, I'm pretty sure some of them got second before. Your first finals, I say Mercules made the finals this event, he would have been like, fuck it. And he lost, he would have been like, whatever. I kind of just, UMG DC, I just switched to an SMG. I'm like, my first ever event running an SMG, I made finals, my best placing ever. Like, I'll take that, whatever. I wasn't really tripping. And then at Worlds, I also, like, I don't know. It was kind of like bittersweet because I knew that was my last event. So I was just like, whatever. Like, I don't know. There's a level of like being optimistic you can have. It's more of like once you get second a couple times, like kind of like how Ghosty is and how Hook was in AW, you start hearing the noises in the voices around you, like, damn, this guy's got second 5 fucking times or 6. Once you start getting second and third multiple times, like 3, 4, 5 times, damn, this guy can't win. Damn, when is this guy finally gonna win? Like that's like when it gets like really, really tough, like your first time or your second time, you can deal with it. It's better than getting fucking 12th or whatever the hell other people be getting, like. But once you like start, like now Surge, they're just in a tough spot. Like,
they've also lost to Thieves every time, right? So like mentally, it's difficult.
What if they get like top 8 next event? Now they're thinking, oh fuck, we hit our peak. Like it's over with. Where I think this Surge team is really good. I really like this team. I just don't. I don't know what they can do to get over the hump. And yeah, that's the problem. Because like when you're in this situation where there's clearly, I mean, maybe they don't feel this way, but clearly FaZe and Thieves, like I would put them over Surge, right? Like,
yeah.
Especially ending the season, like at a big tournament, I would take those 2 teams for sure. You don't want to you don't want to keep getting second and third, but you also don't want to get fucking 8th or like 12th. So it's like, what do you do? Do you try to like I don't know. How do you get over the hump? Do you just say fuck it, like, hey, I'm happy to be here, or do you try to get over the hump? I feel like most competitors, they try to get over the hump, which will either get you even better or get you worse. I don't know. don't know what they can do.
Just got to rationalize
Yeah,
it as like, look, it's second, third major of the season. It's more to come. Like
it just seems like a mental block at that point. No maps won in a final. Like, it just seems like a mental block, like, realistically.
Yeah, they need one. They need one to fall through. But like I said, bro, you don't know if you'll ever get in the finals again.
Yeah, like, that's my point now, is like, they've done it once. You'd think, like, they make it the second time. Are they, like, you want them to win in a... They don't win another map in a grand final, Don, back to back. Like, are they gonna try and change shit now to, like... I just don't know. Like you said, Don, like, they could just overthink it and then go next event and just get top 8.
Vanguard Viper, I think they were top 3, top 4. Surge. So Rambo says, rough way to end the weekends. Tons of good things to take away into the final stretch of the year. Tough learning experiences. It will make it all that much sweeter when we get ours. Straight back into things on Friday. Look at that. 2 Rambo raid tweets in the space of 24 hours. You know he's won the event.
We got to talk about Rambo too.
Wait, he might be the GOAT.
We got to talk about Rambo too. I mean, questionable, like you said, questionable decision at the start.
Right,
Yeah.
like in the off season, Rambo needs to just take his headset off and just chill out, and then Rambo just needs to lock in December, and then go from there. Because, but maybe you'll learn this lesson this time. You know, I mean, you got to feel bad for Ixie, really, but still, like he made the call. Neptune comes in, and clearly they deserve a lot of credit. Because look, if you'd have told me that this team with the players they've got, yeah, sure, talented team. I think when 04 came in last year, people rated him as a smart player, good search and destroy player. Abuza always had a lot of promise, but had never shown that he could maybe be a superstar. Nasty, I always rated and thought was great, but I didn't think he necessarily was going to be a top 5 AR in the game, which he is easily right now. And Neptune was stuck in challenges, right? So for that team to come together and to succeed the way that they've done is very, very impressive, and I think other teams, they've got to take some notes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, everyone clowned Ray for the OpTic shit, basically saying that, you know, he definitely caught the short end of the stick with that OpTic drama, and then comes in with this one. The abuser thing, like, obviously, this is where I question half the stuff. You pick up a player in his best role, and you don't make him play his best role. That's where I always like judge it and be like, "Oh, what the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
And then he changes his role. Abuser gets to play the role he prefers, and starts frying. And then they bring in 04. They all start frying. They start doing well. You know, it was a fun team to watch this year. They bring in Nasty. They bring in Hixie. That didn't go so well. And you got to be sick as fuck. You got to be sick as a dog if you're Hixie. There is nothing worse. And I experienced this too when I got dropped off New York. There's nothing worse than, you know, getting dropped. And, like, you're hate watching, by the way. You are just straight hate watching. You're like, "Wow, there's no way." And then Matt comes in first event. Matt comes in first event. He wins with him. And I'm like, shit, like, maybe I am just ass. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing worse, because that's how everyone else looks at it as well, Don. Like, you know, different perspective of other pros. Like, you get dropped, and that team that you get dropped from picks up a player and instantly gets way better. Everyone's going to look at you and be like, damn, you were the issue, sir. You made this team. Lucky for me, I bounced back that year. So, like, obviously,
you got the last laugh type shit.
Yeah, I definitely, I was back. But for Hixie, you know, like we said at the start of the year, we was excited, more European players. He didn't deliver. Nep comes in, back-to-back finals. It doesn't matter how they done in the finals. Still made back-to-back finals. You got to be sick. Rambo, though, obviously he's very smart when it comes down to it. I think he probably had enough as well. Rab, where he was like, "I'm Rambo Ray. Like, everyone knows me as the smartest guy in COD. Let me just cook real quick." And he's cooked. He's done very well. He's done very, very well. Shout out Rambo. He's a good, he's a good person up for the scene. He's a good coach, and you know, I feel like he's showing how good he is at coaching with this team that doesn't necessarily look on paper like they have absolute superstars, but as a team, they are 4 superstars playing together.
They might just not have quite enough. It might just be how it is, you know? Like, the super team's a super team for a reason. Scrap and Hydra both just dropped 1.25s on average, so sometimes that's just how it goes. I did just spy this tweet from Rambo, because obviously we're like doing our tweet checker on the show, and he's saying, obviously he's not saying any intel here, but he just says, "With how Mercury's performed this weekend, I'll be as surprised as anyone if he doesn't get picked up instantly. Hard to tell where he goes, though. Obvious answer, would be Texas. Well, well, well. We will get into that in the coming minutes. So, yeah, congrats to Thieves. I did see your Titanfighter earlier said, like, whether there'll be... Because Envoy wasn't great last year, so people are thinking, okay, maybe in a couple of years when MW4 comes around, Envoy is going to be as good again. I don't think it necessarily works like that. It's all about the team environment.
I hate people that say that.
I know some people have said, like, Thieves, is it scary for the league that Thieves just came in and waxed everyone? I will say, Thieves' record the last 2 stages is actually absurd, like really absurd. I saw a stat in the chat earlier that said in Control this year, they are 33-6, which is pretty good. But even if you look at their last couple of stages, obviously last major they didn't win, but I actually just want to go back and look at their matches in the last couple of stages and just see how it's gone. So I'm just going to click all of their games here because the form that they've hit lately, I know that a lot of it has been online, sure, but the form that they've hit in terms of match wins and consistency has been like basically a joke. So in the last 2 stages, they are 20-5 in Search and Destroy, 20-2 in Control, and 19-10 in Hardpoint. So their record is what, 59-17. That's their record in the last 2 stages. Like that is a joke. It's actually a joke. And finally, they've won one. So I'm like, if I'm the rest of the league, I'm definitely on notice. Definitely on notice. I mean, I've said it before during the weekend to say it again. I had a conversation with Ryan, who's their performance coach, at the end of the weekend. And this is in Dallas. And he was telling me that, like, look, they had a conversation after they bombed out of Dallas. They recognized that they'd been, let's just say, a little bit complacent maybe with some of their decision making. And he felt like that had a very valuable conversation and that they were going to use their talent to the best effect going forwards. And maybe it's taken a bit of a time to get the super team on the same page, but right now it looks, pretty scary. Pretty scary for the ops.
Yeah. Listen, we can speak about performance coaches and all that type of stuff. You can, people are being gassed up for being a good performance coach. FaZe using one, Thieves using one. Maybe it's time other people start using one. See if it takes them anywhere. You got to understand this. Like it's either going to work.
It's a pretty fire picture.
It's either going to work for you guys or it's not going to work. It's one of those trial and error things. I feel like. But if you want to start talking about Merc, I'm down because
yeah.
I got a lot of things to say on this Merc thing.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, so let's get it started. Merc comes in as a sub for Ben Beans, who unfortunately can't make the event. Some visa issues with Ultra and him getting into the States. Merc comes in. He fries. He does well for the boys. He does well. Does very well. I'm seeing a lot of disrespect. Basically, Ultra's last event, Major 2, they got top 3. Okay? They got top 3. This event, they get top 3. I just checked the bracket of, who Ultra or Ben Beans beat. And they lose 3-0 to Cloud9 Major 2, round 1, winners bracket round 1. They then 3-0 LAG, 3-0 OpTic, 3-0 Breach, and then 3-0 Thieves.
Yeah,
that's with Ben Beans.
Right,
that's with Ben Beans. And you go to the Heretics, they lose first round of Heretics. Then they win 3-0 versus LAG, 3-0 versus Rocker, 3-0 versus Breach, 3-2 versus Heretics. So realistically, is the team better with Merc or better with Beans? If you want me to be honest with you, nothing really fucking changes. They got the same placement. And with Ben Beans, they beat better teams, in my opinion. But that's not saying that Merc isn't. I'm just saying, in my opinion, there's no change needed. This is just recency bias from this event. That's all it is. They got top 3 with Beans in Major 2. They got top 3 with Merc in Major 3. Maybe you just got to understand that Kleenex, Insight, and Joe the Thieves are a fucking unbelievable team of 3 and could probably do that with anyone that's got talent. I would have liked to have seen Ben Beans play this event because, like I said, we had
love to see how they got on. But in hindsight, this is the better outcome, right? Because it creates
for sure.
this new
and it creates this is another
angle.
roster spot. Like I said, I don't feel like this Toronto team needs to change. I feel like they just got top 3 with Beans and top 3 with Merc. I think that's just the same. Like, if they got top 12 with Beans and then top 3 with Merc, then you're like, oh, shit. Yeah. Now we got a convo. No one's getting dropped from this Toronto team. The only thing that's going to happen, and I know everyone's been saying it, is Merc to OpTic. Listen, respectfully, I'm not going to lie to you. Merc got joined in that OpTic team does not make it better. And I don't mean that in the sense of he doesn't do better than Skies. I'm just saying I think the OpTic team's more chalk than just trading out Skies for Merc, and it just gets better. Maybe they win a few more matches, but I genuinely don't feel like OpTic are gonna like come back with Merc and like be top 3, top 2 in the finals. Like, that's the way I see it. I feel like this OpTic roster's got a lot more wrong with it than just trading out Skies with Merc.
I want to know your thoughts, Don, because I got some thoughts on this. I mean, I've said them during the weekends, but yeah, interested to hear your perspective on a player like this coming into this. Like, great system. If if there's any team to join, this is probably the one. But also, he played at a pace and at a level which was super impressive. Like someone said in the chat, he played with more balls than Dylan Rex did. I'm like, you know what? I hear that, right? I hear that. You know?
Yeah. This guy, people like really think he's good in challengers, and I played against him like towards the end of last year, and like people started like talking about him a little bit. He to me played better than I thought he would play. I thought this team had no chance of getting top 3. I'm extremely high on the Toronto roster with Beans, honestly. I mean, we did a bracket together. I kind of was one of the main influencers on putting them in the grand finals. I agree with Trey. I don't think they should make a change, but this Merc kid, the part I do disagree with, I do think this guy is good. Maybe OpTic won't get top 2 or top 3 with picking him up, but they'll be better. And it's kind of just like like how you were talking about earlier when you got dropped and then Mac and then you're hate watching. One of the main things about it is like maybe the player isn't bad. Like maybe you weren't bad, or maybe Sky's not bad, right? It has nothing. That does have stuff to do with it, but maybe not. It's about the belief in the player from the other people on the team. Now, I think that's a huge factor, and I think like how we were talking about Brandon is in his chat. Brandon is looking at his chat. Everyone's saying drop Skies. People are saying drop Sky. Like I think especially like a team like OpTic, they're looking at stuff like that, and I do think. What has Caesar done for them to believe in it? You know what I'm saying? I don't think they believe in him as a player on their team. For sure. And if they don't believe in Merc just got top 3. Merc was looking like a goddamn 8-year veteran, hitting game-winning plays and all type of shit at the tournament. So like, if y'all can't win with Merc, then holy fuck, like not win, you know what I'm saying, but like be better with Merc. And then it's clearly someone else. It's the whole inner structure of the team needs to blow up. But I personally think Merc is a great pickup for them. I see everyone talking about Merc or Sid. I just don't see how C9.
Good luck getting Sid right now. Yeah.
It makes no sense why C9 would get rid of their best player. It literally makes no sense. So
this conversation, I see it all the time. That's like, should OpTic pick up Sib or Merc? Motherfuckers, you don't even have the option to pick up Sib. I don't even know what you guys are on about. For starters, people talk about Cloud9, notorious for letting their best player go. Yeah, for money, OpTic ain't paying for Sib.
They shouldn't. They shouldn't.
They're not going to pay for Sib. And secondly, it's not like if let's say Cloud9 don't make champs. It's not like Sib's going to go to a team that makes champs, because guess what? Cloud9 are going to start preparing for EWC. No one wants a bad team for EWC, because guess what?
There's also roster locks and stuff in play.
Yeah, I just don't see why C9 would get rid of Sib. That makes literally no sense. I mean, if they did, then sure, but...
And listen, back to my OpTic comment. When I say Merc ain't going to make them better, I don't mean that like straight up. I mean it's not going to make them better in terms of OpTic.
Yeah, you said top 2, top 3.
Yeah, when you talk about OpTic, you want to talk about finals. You want to talk about them winning an event. Like that's what I mean. OpTic better. All right. You don't want to see OpTic just go what top 8 or something like that. You don't want to. You don't want to come top 8. You don't want to upgrade to top 4. No one cares about that. They only talk about the people in the finals, and even then, people only care about the winners.
Yeah,
Is Merc gonna come in and make this team go to the finals? Absolutely not. And that's not on Merc being a bad player. I just don't feel like OpTic right now. I feel like there's just bigger issues than trading out one person for one person, regardless of how good that one person is. You got to look at that Toronto team. In those comms, you were listening to Merc. He was actually like, they were respecting him. They were listening to him. You think Merc's just going to hop into that team and then change that team around to go grand finals or top 3? I truly don't believe so. Now, is it a good opportunity for Merc? Yeah, absolutely. You join OpTic, everyone's gassing you up. But it could also be fucking with the way they're playing. And you look at Caesar. Obviously, like Don said, they ain't looking at like, do they believe in him? I mean, he's done realistically like one really big moment against Rocco, which was like an ace with a pistol. That's where they probably believed him. Was like, shit, maybe he just needs to settle in. After that, nothing's really happened. Nothing's really gone their way or his way. Merc joining. Cool, yeah. They get the Slayer, they get more stuff on that. But this team doesn't look like they know what they're doing properly anyway. So Merc joining the team, he's just going to be running around like a headless chicken with them. That's what I think.
I'd be fascinated. Like, I would love to see OpTic Merc to see how it goes, because I would not be surprised if Mercules went to OpTic, and I'm not saying he's going to look like Lunas, but I don't think he's going to look like the same. Respectfully, like Lunas is good, but you know what I'm saying, right? Joining a terrible team.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be the same. I think that Merc just had the absolute perfect scenario. He joins the best possible team in the best possible spot to show out with. Like, even if you joined FaZe for the weekends, you're still not going to come out with as much gas because you're probably just going to end up getting carried. Like, it is what it is. Whereas on this Toronto team, the way that they set things up, like the Kleenex insight dynamic, and I don't want to get into this whole drop insight thing because I just think it's a stupid conversation personally. Maybe at some point it becomes relevant, but for now, there's just no sense to it, in my opinion. But there's a reason why this Toronto team has been delivering very impressive results year after year, and it's the core structure and the coaching staff deserve a lot of credit for making that happen too. I think also Toronto deserve credit for whenever they need to drop down to challenges and have a look at options, they basically always get it right. I mean, think of the talent that's come through that Toronto system over the last few years. I mean, Beans is one. Now he's actually back on the team. Scrappy's another one. There's notable other players as well that were part of their academy program that have made it into the Pro League. And now when push comes to shove, they have to choose an option. I know that Ina was mentioning in the chat how Merc had like a trial with Ravens last year before they decided to pick up Beans. But when Toronto have to pick an option, they just pick the best one. This is what they do. And Merc was on fire this weekend. Look, did he show for sure, guaranteed that the team is going to be better with him compared to Beans? You can look at the upside either way. I think keeping Beans is the sensible decision. But the question is, Merc for sure should get a spot somewhere, but how does that work? Can Toronto sell him? What does the contract look like? And is he an ultra player now? Is there enough time for them to get a deal done? I don't know. The reality is, teams should be on the phone to whoever's going to make the call. OpTic, should they be one of them? I mean, that's the big question, right? I mean, they obviously come top 8 again on the weekends. They lost to Boston. That was really the bad series because they got pretty slammed by Boston. And a Boston team that, as much as I love to believe in them, they're not good enough to really take down the top teams. Then they beat Falcons, who, I mean, were fraudulent and still are, unfortunately for them. And then they played FaZe, and look, you might argue, they nearly beat FaZe. They went round 11 in the search. Maybe they should have won the search. They probably should have won the search. They were round 5 in the control. Maybe they should have won it, right? And people will look at this. Maybe even OpTic will look at this series and they'll say, well, we nearly beat FaZe. So, but that doesn't really add up for me. The issue is, if they bring in Merc and it doesn't work, which I don't think it would radically change their results, although it might improve them. at some point they've got to get honest about like where some of these core issues are stemming from, and I'm not even sure it necessarily is a one-player thing. But like the reason why I'd like to see them do it is because then we'd have a bit of an answer, right? Like, has Kenny been holding them back, or is there something else? Because look, if Merc goes in there and he starts dropping 0.85s, which is what Kenny averaged, which is what Sky's averaged, then clearly there's something going on.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Merc joins this OpTic roster. There's speculation. I ain't even heard anything, to be honest with you. He joins this OpTic roster. They're gonna get better. They're gonna like look better, but they still get the same results. Do we then see a bigger change? Because let's just say this: you picked up Merc. Let's just say you
maybe
picked
they
up
need
Merc,
to do it just as a test, right?
He's got. I mean, listen. That's the biggest test you can do. Bring Merc in there. You know, everyone's saying that. Oh, the issue is Caesar's too slow. He ain't getting kills. Let's say they pick up Merc. Same issues keep happening. They get better, but not really. Do they then look at like, oh, this might be a little bit bigger than we thought. This might be a bigger issue. Personally, to me, I would do it. One, you get Merc, right? Good player. You can clearly see he's got talent. He's got a dog in him. He's got bollocks. He's got balls. He went into that main stage. He's got balls. All right. You went in there and just dogged. If I'm Hex, I'm probably sat there thinking like, all right, let's pick him up. If we still get the same results, I'm looking at you two.
Uh-oh.
I'm looking at you two. Something might not be right. I think, for me personally, if Merc goes there, congratulations. But also, if it like, you know, if he doesn't look as good on the map, I can, you know, I do believe it could be an issue. Because, like I said, I feel like there's bigger issues than just Caesar playing bad. That's the way I see it.
What would you do, Don? You're GM of OpTic Texas right now.
Oh, I'll get Merc. I get Merc for sure. I mean, I was just never high on the Skies pickup. I mean, I do agree there has to be some issues with the other people on the team, but like you can't drop Dashy. Dashy's been your best player all year. You're never dropping Shotzi because Shotzi's the fucking new scump at this point. Hook was literally LeBron James in Challengers. He joins your team. He's not even playing as good as he was in Challengers. When I tell you this guy, like, the stuff that Nep was doing in Challengers, like, Kyler was doing that even more. Like, bro, this guy was insane. Like, I coached him. I watched him every day. I coached Kyler, Prolute, Spart, was it Cap? Bro, half the time, the rest of the people on the team, I mean, Cap and Spart got top 3 at the event. They won the elites this year. Bro, they didn't even have to try. Like, that's how good Kyler was in Challengers. So, like, is it hit? Like, I feel like he should be playing better, like, compared to what I've seen. Obviously, it's Challengers. You're going to play against lesser competition. But when I tell you, like, the way he moved on the map was just, like, different. Like, the confidence and how he felt, like, was just different.
It didn't even look fair.
Like, it didn't even look fair. It looked like he was cheating. Like, it actually looked like he was cheating.
It looked like LeBron in G League.
Yeah, yeah. So, like, something's probably wrong with the team because he should look better than what he's looked. Like, he hasn't looked like the fucking nuke, like, on this team. Like, it's probably hard to play the game with this team. Like, people, like, they've even said it. JP was like, man, I wish we played good Call of Duty so Kenny had a better chance to perform on our team. They probably don't play good Call of Duty on this game. That is what it is. But at the same time, I still think with the players they have, they should be better. Like, they should be able to brute force their way to series wins, and sometimes, obviously, that's not consistent. I think for the rest of this year, they're not going to be a consistent team, but I do think they should be able to get like a crazy result. You know,
they should be able to storm into a top 6.
Yeah.
Like, Boston is a team that they should just be able to bowl over. Like, respectfully, they should just be able to bowl over Boston.
At least sometimes. Like, they shouldn't be eighth. You know what I'm saying? Because
it's been a decade since they were 8th.
yeah, they're better than 8th in my opinion. They should get a better result than that. So I say try Merc. If that doesn't work, then Jesus Christ, like whoa. Because then what is the question I've been thinking of this whole time is what is OpTic's path? What is the route back to at least a top 4 team? Like, what is their route? Because say they pick a Merc and they're still mid, you can't drop Dashy or Shotzi. I just wouldn't do it. I would never do that personally. And who like? What do? Do you like?
Oh, if
there's
they
nothing
drop
they could do.
They drop Hugo again, bro.
He's getting dropped again. He's getting dropped again. It's a matter of when, not if. It's what it is.
He's getting dropped again.
It is. It's a matter of when.
What do you do, bro?
No, but I agree.
Okay,
like
bro.
I also. The thing is, it's the same when they were struggling with Pred. I got frustrated that they didn't seem to recognize that like the core issue was running quite deep. Like they were 0-6, they were 0-9, they were 0-12, and they were like, oh no, well, you know, X, Y, Z. It's like, well, hang on a second, no. You should have been panicking a while ago. Now you've made the change. Similar things are still happening. So you've got to recognize, I'm not saying it's necessarily like a player thing. I mean, look, my take with OpTic is always more from like a cultural perspective. Not even cultural, but like just their approach to the game. And from many aspects, like, look, do you think OpTic take the game as serious as Surge take it? Like in the way that they structure everything, in the way that they structure practice, in the way that they structure preparation, and the way that they structure teamwork. Like, there's no reason why OpTic shouldn't be just as successful as Surge on paper. Like, you look at the Surge team, they've not got crazy resources. They've got 4 talented players, but not the most talented players in the world. They've got 1 coach. Like, they've not got reams of supporting staff. Like, okay, the top teams do. Like FaZe, Thieves, okay, they've got their performance coaches, they've got a couple of coaches, right? They've got a few pieces. But Surge, they have a pretty lean setup. They're not running on some crazy budget. They're also playing out of Vancouver, so their online situation is slightly compromised. Their scrims probably aren't as good as they could otherwise be. But yet they're still making it work with a team that on paper is significantly less talented than OpTic. I mean, like, you got to... part of Dashi must be looking at it and saying, shit, I was roasted this Rambo guy, and maybe for good reason. Rambo's probably got a lot better as a coach over the last few years and probably learned a lot from that whole Dashi drama situation. But at the end of the day, Rambo's out there getting results while OpTic is struggling. That's not necessarily to say that it's Dashi's fault or Dashi's problem, but like there's clearly a fundamental ground up reason why what Surge are currently doing is just far better. So... And I just think OpTic I want to feel some belief that OpTic recognize that, right? Because they've got the talent to do it. It's just, I feel like OpTic aren't fully recognizing that there is a core issue that goes beyond the players they've got on the team. And in this, I didn't watch Dashi's stream last night, but people were saying that Dashi was effectively making the point that, well, you know, they went round 11 against FaZe in the search, they went round 5 against FaZe in the control, kind of making the argument that, look, you know, maybe we're not that bad with this current team. And it's like, well, okay, I kind of hear you, but also this is a FaZe team that also got bopped out top 6, losing to Surge and eventually to Miami, right? It's not like FaZe were in the finals this tournament. As you said, Don, last week, sometimes you're a good team and you happen to play the 2 teams that end up in the finals, and it's like, well, it is what it is. But in this case, that was not the case. So... yeah, I don't know. That's always been my frustration with OpTic, but I think this year is like it's staring them in the face. The writing's on the wall.
I feel like with the whole look who we beat or look who we came close against, it's always like a bigger thing of like, well, did that team look like the best in the world? Where I had FaZe, I didn't have FaZe winning the event. I said they could, but I didn't have one in the event. Something about FaZe, this online split, just looked worrying to me.
All right, people in the chat saying that Dashi didn't say it like that. So, okay, I'll take that back. If Dashi didn't say it in that way, then okay, all good. But, like, I still think whatever Dashi said on stream, that is my general perception of the team this season, that's the way that they've approached these situations. Whether Dashi implied that yesterday or not. Go on, Trey.
Listen, something obviously... Dashi's been their most consistent player all year, by the way. Just want to let that know. He is their best player, like Don said. He's been the most consistent. He's their best player. I don't know what they need to change. And if they're going to stick with this full roster, I feel like their game philosophy's got to change. Because it don't look like they know what they're doing on the map. So they got to hit the lab. What is it, 4 days until the next thing? However they're playing COD right now, it clearly ain't working. And I'm not just saying that because they lost to FaZe, they lost to Boston, they've lost to a bunch of teams over the course. It clearly ain't work. Pardon me. Clearly ain't working. Something needs to change in their gameplay, not just how they walk around and talk and all that kind of thing. They actually need to change the play style, change something to make someone else feel more comfortable, work more as a team, certainly work on the comms because their comms are dreadful, like actually dreadful. You hear a listening from them, it's terrible. I've seen some clips of, Skies being like, yo, let's rotate, and then Shotzi hits old, and then spawns out, and then it's just all fucked. We can't be having that. So, let's say they pick up Merc, cool. If they don't, play with Caesar, but something's got to change gameplay-wise if they stay with Caesar. But even if they pick up Merc, I feel like something's got to change gameplay-wise, because they've had 2 different rosters now. They've had Pred, they've had Kenny, they've had Hugh. And, to me, same old shit. So something's clearly not going well with their game plan. And what did JP say? Something about like, oh, I'm sick of being scrim stars and not translating it in matches. Well, that's issue number 1 because you're clearly changing your play style from scrims going into matches, and that sounds like to me in scrims they just run around and say fuck you.
Yeah, they play like Toronto did in that tournament with Merc. They just ran around and like just played loose. I mean, this was the JP tweet. Let down event from us again. Tired of being the scrim stars, which I thought was a crazy tweet. I've not really seen coaches tweet like this before. Need to adapt and produce when it matters. Locked in, but they're locked in for the final stretch now, Trey. They're locked in. But I thought they were locked in after Friday or after Thursday. I thought Hook said they were locking in for the Friday.
But I thought he just never locked out, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe they just maybe he's going to get locked out of the facility in a few months. We'll see about that.
The term locked in needs to be banned.
Yeah, locked it, bro. Like, I don't know, man. It's difficult because I don't want to be too critical to the players because I appreciate the Dashies trying hard, but like, you can't. At the end of the day, the fans are getting embarrassed. So, like, it's tough. It's tough.
They're clearly trying, and clearly upset they're losing. But it don't look like they're actively changing anything when they lose. They don't look like they're adapting to when they lose. It's been 3 iterations of a roster. They lose to some pretty honking teams, I would say, that like you compare it to OpTic, you're like, oh, OpTic should just slam those regardless if they're, talent-wise done, you know what I'm saying? They should just walk in there and slam them.
Yeah.
I feel like what I said before is they just need a good kick up the arse, a good telling off, and like, JP saying that.
Bro, they need Crim 6, bro, I'm telling you.
No, what JP saying that, I need that.
Yeah, well, I need JP to feel like he has a voice, bro.
Not only is JP just gone, guys, it just looks like you just fucking try harder in scrims and go to the event and don't do nothing. We're doing this in scrims, but we come to an event, like, are we, word to Don, are we champs or are we bitches? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what Don said to me. And I sat there, I was like,
God damn.
Shit, like, I was like, fuck. Like, he actually said, like, this guy means it too. They need someone that's going to go in there and tell them when they fucked up, when they done this, when they done that, and actually be serious about it. That's what I'm saying. Like, when I say repercussions, I don't mean like, Shotzi makes a bad play, Hugh makes a bad play. No, you're getting fined. I don't mean anything like that. But in my London team, when you fucked up, you knew you fucked up. People made you feel like you fucked up, so you never made the same issue again. And if you did, oh boy, did you get it. You got it. For one thing, I just want to say about this, from this OpTic roster, for this time, they do got to lock in because, what are they, like 30 points away from being 9th?
Yeah.
Rockers slowly closing in. Now they do got to lock in, but from one thing I do want to see is some change, some adaptability, just something to where it looks like they've tried something different. Because to me, it just looks like they traded out Skies for Kenny. And nothing changed. Like no, the play's the exact same. The map looks the exact same. There's nothing, it looks like four people, that aren't a team just running around together trying to break a hill. So I hope something changes. If Merc gets the spot, if Merc gets an opportunity, so be it. But listen, you've also got to look at Cloud9, who need to make champs, and they had a rough event. Simp tweeting out GGs. That's not even a GGs. I was out the tournament in 33 minutes. Then you got to look at C9 and be like, who could they just swoop in and take Merc before someone like someone could just come in and take Merc if OpTic aren't doing it. And like I said, I haven't heard of anything about that. And usually that thing's like that gets out pretty quick.
Exactly. Yeah.
So. Like
yeah,
I, said,
I think my final go on. Yeah.
My final thoughts on OpTic, I just want to see some change in gameplay, because whatever they've done over the past couple majors and tournaments, goddamn minors, it ain't working. If it works in scrims, it don't work in the actual matches. Listen, something's got to change.
You gonna say something, Don?
I was gonna say, this is a message to Merc. Merc, be patient. Be patient, brother. Make the right decision. Make the right decision. Now, most challengers players, I would say, take the first offer you get. But right now, we would always say he got the #1 stock, right? Because he's free, or he's a challenger. Maybe Omit has his contract, whatever. But
yeah, he ain't free, but he ain't getting held.
Yeah. Take the best offer. I'm not saying that C9 is a bad organization. I think C9 is a really good organization. But if you're gonna rush into a team that can go to COD champs. If not, be patient. Just be patient, because I just want people who have leverage to be patient. People who don't have leverage, take the first opportunity. That's all I'm
saying. If I'm Merc, I'm joining Falcons.
Wow.
Merc, you got the leverage. I'm just saying, you got the leverage.
I mean, Merc's in a great spot. Even if you don't get a good offer right now because the teams don't want to make a move, whatever, you can just chill for a little bit and he can probably join.
That's what I'm saying.
The thing is, he also wants to play at the World Cup, right? So like, you got to think that's.
Well, listen, his issue right now is he's in the best spot possible, but there's literally no time to make changes and look good on the roster.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I think we covered the OpTic situation relatively well. I mean, I've talked about this kind of cultural element for a bit of time. I think probably the word that I am looking for mainly is just accountability, and I think it's what Trey's getting at as well, is that when things aren't going well, okay, what are we changing? What are we doing? What is the primary issue? How do we resolve this? Because I feel like there's been a lot of that from OpTic this season, but they've not like done the final step to realize, okay, actually we might need to try this or that. And by the time they've got to that realization, it's kind of been too late with the rosters that they've had. And I think now it's, potentially they're going to come to a similar position. I mean, we mentioned it on the pre-show the other day, that clip from the process. I don't even know if they've done a process so far this season, but that clip from the process last year where Kenny was giving it large to Pred and was holding Pred heavily accountable for mistakes. And look, as bad as Kenny was for them this season when he played for the team, you need someone like that in the room. And I'm like, Karma really should be that guy. And as highly as I want to rate JP, I just don't know if that's the type of relationship they have there. It's like I said before, right? Like OpTic, until Kenny came along, OpTic were missing a figure like Crimsix. And I said this before they signed Kenny and when they were signing Kenny, that ever since Crim left OpTic, they missed that personality in the room. And I think Kenny helped them get it back to some degree. And I still think they're missing that kind of personality now. Like, OpTic may have different players than they did when Scump and that were on the team, but from like a cultural perspective, they still feel quite similar to a mid-CDL, like a CWL team. The way that teams were run and the way that teams like would execute back then. Whereas today, there's a lot of teams that have come a lot further in their thinking and their execution and their game plans and their strategies. And it still feels like their accountability. And it feels like a lot of the time, OpTic is still kind of executing the way that they always have done, rather than living in what a lot of the CDL teams are doing nowadays. That's just my feeling. But yeah, anyway, enough about OpTic. Mercules, where else could he go? We mentioned Falcons. I know people said it earlier. Let me just hit Colby's super chat real quick. Thank you very much for the super chat for the 10. Even with Merc, OpTic will probably be 5th or 6th. I think LAT, Surge, Ultra, FaZe will all be better, and Miami will give them trouble. OpTic just doesn't play the game right. I mean, look, this is the point, right? If Merc joins, you know, Merc needs to join and tell them how to play, to be honest. But I don't think that's going to be happening.
Listen, give me Kenny on a sub. I've seen enough. Kenny on a sub. We get Nero out, baby. Bring Merc in.
Oh, well,
I've seen enough.
well. So Merc has some good options out there on paper.
Nah, he does.
He's not going to join Surge, Ultra, FaZe, Thieves. He's not going to join Ravens. They're going to stick with Dylan Rex. He's not going to join Miami. He's not going to join Boston. And look, Boston, again, we talked about it always with Boston. They could make a change, but will they? Do they need to? Probably not, whatever. They're in a rough spot, Boston, because they just keep coming top 6. It's pretty painful. But they're just better than most, or they're better than half, and they're worse than half. Like, it is what it is. That's why they sit middle of the pack as they are. OpTic are an option. Rocker maybe. Cloud9 maybe.
Wait, I just want to say that take I just made there, that's a cook. I ain't gonna lie. That team sounds fire.
Let's talk about it, right? Because I know the people have said the Falcons for Merc potentially, and look, I'm not going to deny that in the off season maybe that's a possibility. Right now, I doubt it. But Rocker, they've got to think about something, right? And look, I think Nero is a player with a high ceiling. There's nobody is denying that. But if you were forced to make a change on the Rocket team, probably it would be Nero who you would replace. And I made this thought in my video earlier today, but I think it's still true. Kenny and Hook were obviously having some sort of, not exactly disagreement, but Kenny clearly wasn't fully happy with the way that Hook was playing the game. And that probably shouldn't be a massive surprise. Do you think Kenny's happy with the way that Nero plays the game? You know, that's just a question, Trey.
I think he knows what he's getting, though.
Sure.
Like, I think he knows what he was walking into.
He did join the team.
My issue is we love this team, don't we? You know, we love this team. We vote for it. You know, we want to see it do well. Clearly, it just don't work. Something don't work in it. Now, listen. When I saw Kenny pull out a sub at that major, or pick one up, he was looking serious. He was looking serious. Well, you know, that team there, hey, I like that team. Well, you know, my drop Nero, bring Merc in. I think Gio and Merc on the same team, that's a serious AR duo. Do I think that team would ever happen? Do I think Looney would actually ever do that? Do I think Kenny would change to a sub? Listen, I don't think that team would ever happen. One, Merc probably wouldn't join that team. You know, he's looking at, he's seeing green wall, he's seeing this, and this. You know, I think it's a cool looking team. Would he take the risk? I don't think so. Would Looney do it? I don't think so. Other teams he could probably join. You got to remember, OpTic's gonna sway that guy's brain to, you know, any time OpTic offers you got to think. I think the only person
if OpTic give him the offer, he's joining that. There's no.
I think the only person that's truly turned an OpTic offer down, like seriously, is Draza.
Probably, yeah.
I don't think anyone else has got the bollocks to do so. I don't think they've got the cojones.
I don't think anyone else does.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else has got the balls to say no, which is cool. And then I'll just look at the other teams he could probably join. Let's say OpTic don't offer him. Like Don said, then you got to think smart about where you want to go. He could make that Boston roster look very, very good. They have some inconsistent ARs, you know, from time to time. And to be honest, I did not see Merc play inconsistent once this whole weekend. Realistically, I did not see him like go from like 1.2 to 0.6 stinker. Like, it was pretty consistent the whole way through. Like you said, he got lucky with the team that he joined, like that he subbed in for, that it was actually like, you couldn't pick a better team for him to sub in for. If that was it, I would literally have that for any player that's going to sub in. I'd be like, yeah, you need to sub in for Toronto. No FaZe change, no LATs change, no Surge change. Then you got to look at the rest of the people. No Miami change. Boston, he makes that team better. He makes every team better, bar those three at the top. It's just like, he's got to do the right thing for him. And you know, there's a few rosters where he could probably join where it just doesn't go as well as he would like.
All right, Don, if you're Merc, you don't get the OpTic offer, but you get the offer from Rocker. Do you take it or not? Do you bide your time?
The offer from Rocker to have Ken run a sub, or
Yeah,
offer from Rocker?
the trade strat.
Oh, hell nah. I don't think so. Ooh, if I'm Merc, y'all don't think Ravens is making a change?
Well,
I know Ina's in the chat.
I don't think they will, and I don't know if they necessarily
I think the Ravens
should.
I think the Ravens it's crossing their mind.
For sure it is, but they've also played like 3 series with Rex. And what else would they do?
Okay.
And I've seen enough.
They just look defeated.
They do. Yeah,
Bro,
bro,
that's why,
yeah.
Don, when you used to make those one-player changes for the person that was like you thought was costing, you used to go in there like, bro,
Yeah.
I'm so gassed to play. Bro,
Yeah,
they don't.
yeah.
They do not
look like
happy.
that.
Yeah, they don't look
like
happy.
that.
They do look
They do
miserable.
look like,
holy
They look
shit.
so miserable, yeah. But again,
They
if
look
you
like,
if you
holy
do it
fuck, what's going
again,
on?
like, what are you gonna do? I don't know. Like, it's tough for Rex because I do think he's a
and you've
better
also got
player
to
than he's
think-
shown. But
You've also got to think as well, like, bro, if I'm Merc, I'm not just gonna be like, yeah, I just got top 3 at my first ever CDL showing. I ain't taking no min contract.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
shouldn't, bro. I feel like he has leverage right now. So it's like, I know Rocker got the bag. Rocker got a bag. I feel like C9 got a bag, and Falcons got a bag.
yeah,
But it just depends on. I don't know Merc as a person. It just depends on what is his goal. You know, it's hard to know his goal because I don't know him. So if his goal is to win immediately, or like be at champs and compete immediately on a team and like maybe make something happen, I mean, fuck, your options are very slim. It's like Ravens, OpTic, or that's about it. The other
That's what I'm
teams
saying.
have no.
I was just gonna add on to your point. Like I'd feel like he doesn't join any team right now, and they get top 3 like he just did.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's not finna get top 3 again. That's the problem. So it's like, after if you be realistic and throw that out the window, join the best organization. Where Rocker is a great organization, bro. Like they got money too. They're not playing with that money. They got the money. So I don't know about Ken running a sub just because you gotta have the mindset to do shit. Like, bro, Kenny, he's a very. I know him so well, but he's a very like understanding and good person, but he's also a very stubborn person and will do what he wants to do. I think he's always, I mean, bro, he's fucking his best years. What did he run? A goddamn SMG. For some reason, something in his head he just doesn't want to do it. Like, I don't know what to tell him. Like, I got picked up on his team thinking I was gonna run an AR, and he's like, yeah, nah, you and Teej is a sub duo. Man, I think you guys are gonna work out. I'm like, okay, fuck it. I'm running the sub. Like, I'm not finna. It was either I run a sub on LAT or I join fucking Florida or Paris. So it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm gonna run a sub because I didn't want to run a sub after I ran a sub the whole year on New York. I had to run an SMG smoke. I'm like, I want to go back and run an AR and kill her.
yeah.
But then Ken's like, nah, you and Teej is a sub duo. Nah, y'all gonna do this shit. I'm like, all right, okay, for sure. Like, what the fuck? Like, he just doesn't want to run a sub, bro. So.
I also feel like that his
Welcome, Doug.
back in the day, Don, when he was running a sub on like World War II and stuff like that, he had Lamar, who was like, you know, a very, very people don't credit Lamar as well as they should do.
Yeah.
He's a very good AR. He's a very good teammate. He's not your flashy AR, but he will make you look better on the map. And
100%.
I feel like where Kenny's at right now, Don, is he makes other people better on the map by running an AR, but I feel like he could do the exact same thing by being in the goddamn mix with a SMG. Like I said, it's a big change. It's a big change, and you gotta, like you said, you gotta be willing to make that change. And we found out from the OpTic situation, he was willing to make that change. He was happy to go to a sub and Pred go to an AR, but obviously Pred didn't want to do so, and I respect that decision. Like we had that discussion a few shows ago. We respect that decision too. Like I said, for me, if I'm loony, I'm gonna be like, yo, Ken, listen, hear me out. Get yourself in the sub. We'll get the dog Merc, and I promise you, if we don't make champs, like I was wrong. I'll admit it. I was wrong. I feel like I just like that team. I don't know what it is. I got my GM brain on right now. I like that team.
I feel like Kenny and Merc again. Like Merc was seems like such a good kid for that type of environment. Like, you know, that picture of Cam when the guys are like looking over at him, like looking for, you know, advice or S&D strats or whatever. Like Merc seems like a great kid to throw into that type of environment. Like, I feel like Merc to Boston doesn't make much sense to me because I don't think you would thrive in that type of environment as much as you would thrive under like a Kenny style team. But yeah,
I feel like Merc needs someone like to mentor him and like
exactly,
that's why Insight was such a good person to play with, because you know people don't give Insight the credit that he deserves, and I'll die on this hill. But you know, I spoke about it. Everyone's like, oh, Trey just your UK bias. Like, motherfucker, do you understand? Like, being someone as like egotistical as me back in the day, I didn't want a single European player to do better than me. I didn't want a single EU player to do better than me, even when I couldn't make some events and Ben Bance was like doing really well. I was like that's my guy, but like I want to be that guy. You know, people don't talk about me no more, and I'm cool with that. So let me shed some light on some people that do deserve to be spoke about. Insight is one of those people. One of the most underrated ARs in the CDL. Yeah, he's not flashy, but he's going to make you better and he's going to get the job done. And that's why Merc slotted into this Toronto team so well. They all made him feel like he was a part of the team, and Insight is a part of that culture. Now, saying that, Kenny's a part of that culture too. You know, Kenny didn't have to play for the rest of the year, like Don said. He wanted to play for the rest of the year. And guess where he went? He went to a team with like, not like absolute veterans. He went there as the veteran and tried making them better. They're getting the same results, and that's why, you know, you got to respect it. But you know, he looks happier over there, and you give him someone that, you know, wants to be mentored. Fuck it, go for it. It's cool.
I don't disagree.
I think he would be gross on the sub. I always thought Kim would be gross on the sub. I just don't think he deep down that he would do it. But maybe he would. You say on OpTic.
Champs is on the line at the end of the day this year.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I want to know your guys' thoughts. Like those tuning in on Spotify, we have the option to throw up a little poll in there. So we'll put a little poll on the Spotify. If you're Merc, where would you go? A few options for you guys to mess around with: Rocker, Cloud9, OpTic, Falcon, something like that. Obviously, OpTic would probably be the one that you go for if you have the option. But if you don't have the option, then and maybe you want to bide your time. And I saw some people saying, if you're Merc and OpTic give you the call, you just tell them to get lost. I'm like, yeah, good luck doing that. I doubt that's going to happen, but you know, you'll see. It also depends, like maybe not even where would Merc go, but like where actually will he go at some point, because I think where would he go, he's going to probably choose OpTic if he has the choice, but he may not have the choice.
There's also just like not much time, Rab, like I keep saying to you.
That's
like
what I'm saying,
time, bro, motherfuckers are traveling home today.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get back. They ain't scrimming today. They're going to get back. They're going to sleep. They're going to wake up next morning. Who am I playing with? Am I playing with Merc? Am I playing with this guy? Am I playing with this guy? Like, there's not enough time. It's hard. And, like, Merc just coming off that top 3 finish, fucking high as a kite on the goddamn moon, feeling on the top of the world. He's going to join some fucking team and just face the reality of, shit. This ain't cool. Insight, where you at, buddy? I need you. Hello, Toronto? Can I come back? Like, it ain't the reality of he's going to join a team and boom, they're top 3. Like, he just had an unrealistic, like, weekend in terms of, like, you know, getting top 3 at your first thing with as a sub is, like, you know, people don't ever expect that. And now he's on top of the world. He's going to probably join a team and just get hit with the hard facts of, shit, we can't do shit on the map. I should have stayed at home.
The final thing I'll say before we talk about like other teams of money to blow it up is, if you're Merc, the World Cup is a pretty attractive tournament to try and play. Even if you're not playing champs, like I've just again briefly looked up the prize pool for the World Cup, and I don't know what it's going to be this year, but last year the prize pool for the World Cup was $1.8 million. If you turned up to the tournament and you won nothing at all, you got your team won 20 grand. So that's 4K just for showing up. If you come top 12, that's 8K just for showing up, winning one game. And then if you come top 8, it's 80 grand for top 8, 160K for top 4, 320 grand for top 2, 600K if you win it, right? So like, okay, just saying theoretically, if Merc doesn't join a team, and maybe there's the option to join a team and turn up to the World Cup and even get top 8, you know, that's like 20 grand that you're I don't want to say leaving on the table, but like if you don't join a team and you decide to wait out for next season, and because you think you'll get a better offer doing it that way, rather than taking an offer that might be there, you're not going to play in like one of the biggest tournaments, which is good opportunity, but also there's a lot of money on the line. So there's, it's a bit of nuance in the decision that is made here. That's my perspective on that. Okay, let's talk about Cloud9, because PD said it in the chat. He said, is it over for Attach's career? And we got this one from Justin. He says, what about Geo on a sub and Ken and Merc ARs? Don't know about Geo on a sub. Feels wrong to me.
Geo is an absolute dog on an AR.
Yeah, I don't think you want to take him off it personally.
Yeah, listen, you don't change Geo. You just that guy is a very underrated talent on an AR. I will say that. He really showed it to me against OpTic when they first played with Kenny.
Yeah.
Bro, he was hitting some shots, and I was like, bro, this guy is blowing me away with those shots he was hitting.
So Cloud9, they turn up to the tournament, they start in losers, they play one series against FaZe, they get 3-0 bopped out of the tournament, and 30 minutes later they're done. Sib's obviously not a happy man about it. They could have won the search, apart from that, wasn't really close. And again, it's not like this FaZe team made the finals. Look, the thing is for Cloud9, if you're serious about trying to make it to champs, this current team clearly ain't good enough. Because they need to overturn a 50-point deficit bare minimum. That's win 3 of the qualifiers and get top 6. And that's assuming OpTic win nothing else, which they probably will. And Rocker probably will too. So realistically, this Cloud9 team needs to get top 4 bare minimum at the major and win a handful of qualifiers. Is this current team capable of doing that on recent evidence? Probably not. And their qualifiers are not easy. They have Toronto, FaZe, and Thieves in there, and Miami. So yeah, it's one of the runs of all time. So either Cloud9 just decide, all right, screw it, we're just going to run it down for the rest of the season, or they try and pull something off. Obviously, Attach has probably been the player under the biggest spotlight. Mac's fallen off a bit lately as well. They're obviously going to blow it up big time for the off-season. But again, you've also got to think, as I say, World Cup matters. And if the roster lock for the World Cup is relatively soon, which I think that it is, you might want to make a change. Yeah, okay. 15th of May is the roster lock for the World Cup. So if they keep this team for another couple of weeks, it's going to be the team they have to go to Riyadh with. And yeah, I'm not expecting much. So to be honest, I thought they might have made a change before this tournament even happens. They have to be thinking about it right now. I mean, we know full well that they nigh or nearly did it at one point, but then they didn't quite follow through. So surely now is probably the moment, if not now, in a few days. What do you think, Trey?
It hurts to say it because Dill's a very good friend of mine. I've teamed with Dill. Like you said, he is under the most spotlight. Is he the reason they're losing? Not just by himself. Like we said, Mac's fallen off a bit. Everyone, Ace was saying he was a top 5 sub in the league at one point. Now he's, you barely hear of him. It's when we done that show where we found out Cap did trial for him. It's like you got to drop someone there and then. It's the same with the Ravens thing. Like they wanted to pick up Kenny, and then Vivid's like, oh shit, like, oh they wanted me gone. Now I've got to play a match with them, match or two with them. Like it's just chalked at that point. Once you make that initial decision to go try someone out, that's when you've got to make the change, regardless if the tryout was good or not. Do I think Attach is dragging this team down by himself? No. Is this game suited for Attach? Fuck no. He's a slow, methodical, sit on a head glitch type of player, and he's fucking good at that on a different game. We saw it last year when he was playing with Geo and stuff like that. He was a nice joy to watch as an AR. In this game, it's just not like that. We see a lot of those players from last year that were looking nice, just get ran through because the game's so fast. Do they have to make a change? Unfortunately, they do. They're getting bopped out of tournaments about winning a map. They had a 30-minute series. They're not happy playing with each other. You can clearly tell. Sib's obviously not happy. He tweeted out like, it's not GG's anymore. I played a 33-minute series and I'm out of the tournament. And if I'm Cloud9, you've also got to sit there, Don being the best player, you've also got to sit there and, make Sib happy at some point. Because you chose Sib over Kiz and Skies. and now he's on a team that looks like it ain't gonna make champs. You've got to make changes right now. You've got 3 days before you got 3 days of scrims to get in. Changes have got to be made, be it challenger players or something like that. We've got. If visas weren't an issue, I'd be ringing Afro, and I'm not gonna lie to you. If there's an org right now that's looking to dominate at EWC, be it Cloud9 or something like that, you need to start sorting out some visas for these European boys, because they're coming over and absolutely world starring your NA challenger players. If I'm an NA org right now or anything like that, start silently just sign these EU players, get their visas sorted, and bring them in when you can. But with this C9 roster, yeah, I think it's time for it. Might even have to be a 2-man change. I'm not gonna lie. Mac hasn't been performing. Attach hasn't been performing. I feel like you got to make a 2-man change. Maybe bring in, you got to look to challengers at this point. Do I think bringing in Reese Vivid's going to make him amazing? No, but does he know how to win and play the game? He was good for that. He was somewhat good for that Ravens roster, but I think even recycling Vivid is a bit too much now. I feel like you just go full out talent and try and pick up the best talented players in challengers. And we're looking at Capsidal, we're looking at ProLoot, we're looking at Spa, all these types of players that could come in and do a better job. So yeah, a roster change is needed. It needs to be made in the next day or two.
Agreed.
Brought up some
It's
stats
tough,
here
man.
from challenges in the background too.
It's tough, man. My main thing is, why did they not make a change already? Like, why did they need to go through all of this and get slammed and just dig themselves an even deeper hole to like make a change now? Now, there's a part of me that thinks that they might not make a 2-man change, but like they should have made a 2-man change weeks ago. Like, why did they just keep playing and playing? I don't know how like their financial situation works or anything, but like it just makes no sense to me. Makes no sense to me. It should have been made a change. I feel like it's just way too late at this point. Like, they're not making champs. I understand ESWC like make the best roster for that, so that's why they should still do it. I just don't know why you wouldn't have done this weeks ago. That's what I'm thinking. Like, it makes no sense. Like, you were already trialing Cap. That was weeks ago. That was multiple shows ago. Like, you already thought your team sucked then. That if your team didn't suck then, you wouldn't have trialed them. Why did you not just make a change?
They should have made a change ages ago. Listen, you talk about Cloud9 done like a very, very prestigious org in the scene, and you sat, what is it, 10th?
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Like, that's not good enough. You've got Sib on the roster. You've got previous world champ. Like, come on, bro. You got to be more serious than that. Like, you guys, Cloud9 should be making champs. Like, they should be like, you look at Cloud9, you think, fuck, this team should be like, not team, but like this org should be in the conversation of like top 6 right now. If we're comparing it to Ravens, like, fuck, like org to org, like, fuck, get Ravens in the bottom of it. Yeah, they got to make a change. And it sounded like Cap done well when he played with him, so maybe just bring Cap in.
Yeah, I mean, apparently he was frying. So I don't. That's what I'm saying. Why did y'all wait this long?
I mean, it can only be friendship cheese. This is what it is.
Listen,
I
I'm
mean, I
not
said
going to
it
lie to
before,
you.
so I got to double
listen,
down.
I ain't gonna wait this long, bro. Like,
They have to make a 2-man change. They literally have to. And I ain't gonna lie, if I'm Rocker, I'm probably doing the same thing. I'm probably getting a change over there too. This is your last final stretch to make champs. I've not been convinced by the Rocker roster either. We support it. We support it, Don. We love it. I want these guys to make champs. But with the way it's going right now, I truly don't believe that team of 4. They gave me hope, and it's the hope that kills you inside.
yeah.
It is. I feel like they got to make a change. Maybe pick up an SMG player. That's my opinion on the Rocker roster too.
Look, they're 30 points behind OpTic. It's not impossible. I mean, we've looked at this before, but we can dial it in a little bit more. Pretty funny, actually. Jake Hell looked up the results on the CDL website, and he was like, damn, Rocker only 15 points behind. But of course, the website was wrong. So
A good promo for me, though, right?
No, well, it was actually a pretty good promo when JCal says CDL site is wrong. Of course, I'm like, yeah, well, they've done it again. But
And then I replied.
You reply?
Yeah, go look at it.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
Hey,
from the boy.
Hey, I'm on commish, boss. Don't worry, I'm on commish.
You see, he knows how to keep his job. This man, he's playing it beautifully. You should use Breaking Point GG for all your CDL needs. The website is never wrong. So, but you know what the CDL website does have right are the matches for the two respective teams, and they play basically the same teams. The only difference is Minnesota play Falcons and OpTic play Boston. But apart from that, it's Surge, Ravens, Gentlemates, Toronto. So it's not like... I mean, it's pretty good, really. It's pretty good. I mean, you play... It's not perfect. But I think Minnesota will take their run. OpTic should probably not be too unhappy either. You know, there's no Thieves in there. There's no FaZe in there. Miami can be obviously a bogey team as well. Toronto and Surge, obviously, that's tough. That is tough. But if you win the other ones, if OpTic win 3, they'll be fine. But Rocker...
They have identical, like... They pretty much have identical, like, you know...
They do,
run,
yeah.
so to speak. It's pretty identical. Especially with Carolina being chalk, too. Like, you know, you got to look at that and think, that's a free 10 CDO points. Like, we're getting the Raven coin on that one. Because, my word, those 4 players do not like playing with each other. Oof.
Ugh, bro.
Oof.
This Rocker team, bro. I might need to start picking against them, bro. I remember last time I picked against Kenny, he won champs. I was staying at his crib, and I'm like, "There's no way y'all are beating FaZe." I'm sorry, and they won champs. But there's just like, I don't want them to make a change, but I do agree with you guys, like saying that if they keep the same roster, I don't see them passing OpTic. Like, I don't feel like Nero's bad, bro. I don't.
He ain't bad. He's just very inconsistent, and I'm not. And are you gonna change Geo? No. Are you gonna change Kenny? No. Are you taking out Estrio? Fuck no.
I don't feel like Nero is bad though. Like,
he's not bad, but like
he has been doing some bullshit in the 1v1s.
Listen to me, and I'll say this now. I love Nero, and when I say people got to make a change, it's literally not because I think they're a bad player. Nero is just like, he's just one step away from like being a very, very, very good sub, but he always slows down mid-season. Start of the season, he's fucking godlike. You know, he's looking like fucking FaZe, OpTic, fucking all that caliber, and you're like, damn, Nero can shoot. And then he just starts throwing up the bullshit. It's like he doesn't know when to slow down or stop ego challenge or something like that. And you need that sometimes, Dom. But there's got to be a point when you're thinking, shit, maybe this ain't working anymore. And this Rocker, I feel like this Rocker team. Now Nero could join a different team and be, like if they got rid of Nero, he could join Cloud9. You know what I'm saying, for Mac, and I feel like that'd be a better roster swap. Maybe a bit more pace for the boys. But this Rocker team, the results haven't got better with Kenny in it. They've just looked better on the map. They keep the results close, but the results stay the same. Now you got to look at it and think, what's the next step in this team? Unfortunately, maybe bringing in a better, more consistent sub for Nero is the next best play.
But who could they get?
I don't know. Kenny on a sub. No, you are right, and you are right though, Don.
No way.
No, I hear you though.
That's the issue, Don, that we have with a lot of these teams. Is like, bro, who are they going to get?
Yeah.
You know, I'm just spitballing that. You know, if they want to have a chance of making champs without the inconsistencies of their sub duo, they're gonna have to make a change. Do I know who the fuck they're going to pick up? Absolutely not.
They might be cooked, bro. Because I just don't see. I don't think anyone should get dropped for this team. I feel like they should stick, and then like I feel like if they do stick, they're cooked. Like I feel like they will be cooked. Like they're not gonna overlap OpTic. Like
Like, they like playing with each other. I'm not saying the team's compromised or anything like that, but like you're coming up against OpTic, who could potentially make a change themselves, and you're 30 points away from them, like where like, and you haven't had a great major, you haven't had a great online split, like shit. That's what I'm saying. Like if the Europeans could get in here, maybe Afro would be a better pickup, but like he can't
Afro
play.
be a good pickup.
Yeah, he can't play.
Sign Afro if you could, yeah.
Yeah, you would try, or F dot. He's fucking class 2. A lot of you guys don't know about F dot because guess what? The challenger shit don't get streamed and they don't promote. They don't promote good players.
I wish we could
People talking about
simulate
craze.
like projected points for Rocker and OpTic this upcoming stage. And we could kind of like eyeball
Well,
it.
like, okay, let's say Rocker win 3 qualifiers and OpTic win 2, right? So then they're within 20
They're behind
points.
20? Okay.
But it still means that you've got to outplace OpTic by two segments, right? Because it's 15 points a segment. So like if OpTic come top 8, Rocker would have to be top 4. Which is, maybe OpTic are a top 8 lock. Maybe they just sweep the top 8s. But it still means that Rocker probably have to make something.
Wait. Could it be a tie, though? Could it be a tie if they get...
Sure,
if
yeah.
Rocker got top 6 and then OpTic got top 8?
It could be a tie depending on the qualifier. I mean, yeah, if they win the same amount of qualifiers and then Rocker go top...
I'm saying 3-2. Rocker win 3 qualifiers, OpTic win 2, and then Rocker get top 6, OpTic get top 8.
No, they'd lose by 5 because it's 15 points. But if they win the same amount of qualifiers and then Rocker outplace them by like 2 rungs, then it could be a tie. Well, what happened if it was a tie? Who has the head?
And this is why I hate it.
I thought top 8 was just 10 points. It's 15.
Nah, it's 15. Yeah, they changed it this year.
Okay.
This is my thing too. It's like, Don, I'm full agreement with you. Like when we watch this Rocker team, it's like, bro, they could have went 4-1 in the qualifiers, but they went 1-4. It's like, bro, I want to believe in this team, and I truly, if they played at the start of the year, Don, I think I would believe in this team, but I've seen enough.
To get the head-to-head this year, 2-1.
It's like someone put in
But
the
if they
chat
played at the
where it's
major,
real quick.
then it would be,
Let me try and find this real quick. I don't think I'll be able to find it. It was a good, pretty much a good take though. It was like, can't find it. It's something about Rocker being like, they know how to play, they just can't finish. Like, they just can't, like. Maybe if he can put it in the chat again, because I've lost it, but.
Just looking at it, the 30-point gap is just like a lot, bro. Like, they might be cooked.
Right, it's not going to be over until like the Saturday of the major, probably. But you never know. You just never know.
I just feel like OpTic would have to get no points. Like, there's no way OpTic aren't going to win. Like, OpTic should probably end up with like 175 points at least. Maybe
yeah, exactly. Yeah, which is it's tough to overturn.
I don't see Rocker getting. Do you think Rocker could get 170 points at 115 right now with this same team?
I mean, Heretics this stage went from like 150. I mean, they picked up like 70 points this stage. Maybe something like that.
It's actually like
no, I agree. I hear you. I'm also concerned, for sure. So, yeah, let's move on from Rocket. I mean, the other team that I wanted to touch on in some great detail, of course, is the 4-peat attempt Atlanta FaZe. They are officially no longer the #1 seed in the league as it stands. I don't have stats on this. I'd love Turtle to find up the stats on this. I know he sent me some stats a second ago, which I appreciate as always, but because, okay, I imagine there have been times in the last 5 years where FaZe have not been leading the standings, probably at the start of the year when things were a bit of a mess. But at this point in the season, I feel like FaZe have always been top of the standings. Like, we've got 1 major cycle to go. I feel like FaZe have always been top with 1 major cycle to go. Maybe I'm tripping. But it feels like it's a little bit of a... It's a big deal. I know you said it the other day, Trey. It's like, hang on a second. How are Thieves #1 here? Because FaZe won 2 events, Thieves only won 1. Which is like, you know what? Fair enough. But also, FaZe, the top 6 this tournament, kind of hurt their numbers. And they're now 20 points off the top spot. So Thieves, as I said earlier, their record in the last couple of stages has been pretty immense. But They're currently at 410, FaZe at 390, Toronto 310, Surge at 300. So as it stands, OpTic are playing Thieves in the very first round of the World Championship, so good luck with that. But FaZe had a really strange stage. I mean, I think we expected them to still come to the LAN and do well. I mean, what do we have them placing top 3 in our bracket or something, which is, I mean, it's almost impossible to place them any lower than that. I mean, it's FaZe. Until they're out of the tournament, you always still believe that they can win it. But yeah, not their best showing. I think the series against Surge, the first one, kind of summed everything up to me. Like, they won the game 1 hardpoint, but then they just didn't capitalize. And like, that's just so rare for FaZe not to capitalize when they win a game 1, especially when their hardpoint was still iffy, as we saw on the map 4 here. And really, the other series they played were a similar story as well. I mean, obviously, they do get the win against Cloud9. They 3-0'd them. Congratulations. They 3-0'd OpTic, but even that was pretty sketchy. And then they lost to Heretics in 5, which was a banger series. But, I mean, look at that. Like, over 2 hardpoints, they got 275 points in 2 hardpoints. Like, they barely had enough points to win a single hardpoint across the whole series. So, yeah, uncharacteristic for FaZe. I know Draza was frustrated about his play. Abizi had some insane moments this weekend, but they couldn't string it all together. I don't know if it's as clear to say, like, oh, something's happened with FaZe or whatever. I just think it's very, very difficult to maintain a level that they've shown for some time. But it's also a pretty difficult time for them to have a drop-off because, as we've said, Trey, there's no... matches begin in like 4 days, right? So they've not got a load of time to go home and think about and, you know, improve. But yeah, strange weekend for FaZe. I didn't expect it to end quite like this, Trey.
Yeah, top 6 for FaZe is a little bit slow. You know, obviously I think so too. You know, this is one thing I do like about this FaZe team, though. They hold themselves accountable if they do have a bad stage or something like that. Whoever plays bad, they hold themselves accountable. Shout out Draza. I know, you know, we... the show, he don't like us, you know, we don't like him, you know, a little bit of back and forth, whatever like that. Draz, you know, Don, now that you're on the show, you know, we got beef with Draz, so now he don't like you either. Expect to get unfollowed very shortly.
Nah, me and Draz, that's my guy.
Nah, listen, you know.
I'm gonna get him to drop the beef. I'm gonna get him to drop beef.
Listen, we speak about it, and, you know, obviously... Draz had a slow hard point. Even said at this event, he said, I don't know what the fuck happened. And that's the type of accountability we like. Obviously, FaZe know how good they are. They just went on a 3-peat, back to back, making all this money, making, you know, pissing teams off by being like absolute fucking dogs. But listen, they come into this dog. Listen, they came into this event and something just didn't seem like the exact same as the other thing, the other times they played online splits. It looked like they had issues. The hard point was the biggest one, and it showed at this event too. So, you know, and it was nice to see some consistency in terms of, like, you know, they didn't look great in the online stage, and they came to the event and they didn't look great either. So they are human as well. It's not like they just have a shit online stage, come to the event, just slam everyone. But like I said, something just felt different about this time when they were losing maps and stuff like that. Because before it would just, you know, you just looked at them and was like, oh, they're just going to win the series. But this time it was actually, I couldn't quite tell you the vibe I was getting, but you guys know what I'm saying. It didn't look like they were FaZe this whole split.
Yeah, I agree with Trey. I'm not too worried about this team, though. Because, like, I mean, they got top 6 at champs, won ESWC. I expect them to bounce back and figure it out, even though they don't have that much time. It could just be a mental thing. I mean, it's not like these guys don't know how to play hardpoint. I mean, that's the main thing they need to fix. Excuse me. They need to just fix their hardpoint. Simp. I'm saying this with the utmost respect. I got the guy's jersey. The guy is literally one of the best Call of Duty players of all time. This past stage was the worst I've seen him play since BO4, since he's been in the league. There is no way in hell Simp is gonna play that bad to close out the season. Because I know NJ and other people, they all on Abizi's ass. To me, Abizi's always gonna keep his play style. To me, is just so good and benefits the team even when he goes negative that I'm never really worried about him. He's kind of like a Jerd to me on crack though. Like he's obviously better, but he's just so easy to play with. that I'm not like too worried about him going negative. And like I said earlier about LAT, like someone has to go negative. Like I don't mind if a BZ goes 0.9. You know that he's probably won plenty of events with a 0.9. You know, Simp needs to perform. Simp, like Cell and Draws were the best two players this split. That is not their winning formula. Even though I love Cell and Draws, like they're both great players. Their winning formula is one of the Tiny Terrors taking the fuck over, and the ARs being solid, or one of the ARs being good. Like your two ARs, you're never in Call of Duty. You're always gonna win when your subs are the best players on your team. That's just how it works. Like Hydra, Scrappy, you know, Hydra, fucking when OpTic was winning, Pred and Shotzi, like the SMGs are gonna make the biggest impact on your team. That's just is what it is. And as an AR player, you know that. So they just need Simp to go back to form, which I think he'll do because he's literally God. I'm glazing him. I don't give a damn. He's gross, bro. Like he's earned the right. He's earned my respect. Like he's gross. Like there's no way he'll play this bad again. And if he plays that bad again, then holy, I don't even know. I have no clue. Because there's not really much for me to say on this team other than Simp needs to play like how he normally plays, and then they'll be fine.
Yeah, this stage FaZe go 21 map wins, 15 map losses. Pretty uncharacteristic. And then, I mean, I don't know if... When's the last time we saw this? A full stage where both Simp and Abizi are in the red. Both negative.
Yeah.
True in Hardpoint, not true in Search, not true in Control. So really it was only Hardpoint that was their struggle mode. Their Control was pretty damn good. Their Search pretty damn good, or at least respectable. Until the Major, really. Like, it was good online, and the Major, their Search was a bit shaky, but pretty much the entire stage was their Hardpoint that caused them issues. 2 in 4 on Hacienda, 0 in 2 on Skyline. Those were really the pieces of the downfall. So, yeah, I don't know. The teamwork just looked a little bit off this stage, and maybe it's just shows why it's so difficult to maintain at the top for so long. But go on, Trey.
I will say I don't like FaZe on Hacienda Hardpoint. I don't think it's a FaZe map. They avoided it for a little bit. They started playing it again. I think their issue is when they play Hacienda, they always play it against a team that loves playing Hacienda. I think if they're going to play Hacienda, they should play it against a team that's, you know, not as good as it as the teams they play on it. I don't know. A FaZe Hacienda, to me, it's always a questionable pick. I said it when they were picking it online. I said it even when they picked it at LAN. Like, it just doesn't seem like it just don't seem like it's a FaZe map for them. I can't quite put my finger on it. They just, yeah. But it's also FaZe, and, you know, next stage I could come in and win every Hacienda and just tell me to shut the fuck up. So,
right.
You know, I don't have a big issue with FaZe, like Don said. I just think this was the only time in the past, like, I feel like past year or so where I've sat there and thought their online split would go as well as their major split did, to be honest with you. That's all I got to say on this roster. You know, Simp, Pabizi, unbelievable duo. You know, the best duo we've seen in the CDL in terms of SMG-wise. That's why they have their own nickname, the Tiny Terrors. And then, like Don said, like, you know, it's always an SMG going off. And, you know, you look at Cell and Draws, you know, they go off too, but your AR player, you know, usually they hit like an insane clutch for one of the maps, like to win the map, and then but your SMG players are carrying you out for the whole thing because that's just the type of impact they have. But yeah, I ain't got nothing to say about this FaZe roster in terms of, you know, excited to see how they play again because, you know, they ain't gonna like that Thieves won. You know, they would definitely rather Surge win than Thieves, so they're probably going to come back and give all hell next.
Oh, we got a little spicy game. So FaZe, their upcoming games, their final game of the stint is against Falcons. Their game before that is against Gentlemates. The game before that is against Cloud9. It's a nice, easy run. But this weekend, on Friday, they play Surge, and on Sunday, they play Thieves. So that's going to be a pretty banging weekend. Like both of those games, because Surge obviously have beaten them the last couple of times they played. Thieves, we didn't get to see them play at the Major. But we are going to get to see them play in a couple of days' time, and Thieves on an absolute tear as of late. And FaZe are going to have a hard time, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like with FaZe, it's an okay time to have a little bit of a slump. I mean, you know, we got 3-4 weeks until the next major. Champs is another like 3 weeks after that, and then EWC is another month after that. So they got time. And it's just the fact that they always make Sunday, right? Like teams having off tournaments, off stages, it happens, but it just FaZe, it just doesn't happen. You all start answering the question like, wow, what's happening with FaZe? Because every other team, sometimes they have an off tournament and you say, oh, it was an off tournament. Whereas for FaZe, they just don't have off tournaments. Like they're always there on Sunday regardless. So the fact that they weren't kind of makes you wonder, but I don't know if you necessarily should be. Because if it was any other team, you'd just say, okay, bad tournament, it is what it is, come back stronger. Like Thieves came top 4 last tournament. Okay, they were getting clowned. They still made Sunday, sure, but they got 3-0'd by Toronto. At least FaZe didn't get 3-0'd.
Right.
Well, there we go.
Oh, Cloud9 just done a video.
Where they dropped a video.
Yeah. Don't know what it is though.
All right, let's have a look.
Oh, major free vlog. Would it last 5 minutes?
Right, they sent the whole boys out there to record one game in 30 minutes. Kind of unfortunate. No, the content they put out is good. Got in their video when they did the one in
it's
Dallas.
just like it's major free vlog. Where they fly in, lose, and fly back out. It's like the vlog.
They got more about FaZe and Abizi in here than they do about their own team. It's tough.
Jesus.
We got one hype video of the team walking out on main stage. Uh-oh.
Literally, yeah.
Literally had one series, so this is all they got. And it's GG.
Yeah.
They honestly leaked the whole vlog in this trailer, by the way, because they were like, I
Because
already
it's
know
just
what
them
happened.
losing one.
It's just them losing one series, that's it. Like, there's no
Did you guys see
teaser. There's no, like...
You guys see the rocket content? I thought that shit was funny as fuck.
Wait, the bowling shit or whatever it was? Not even the bowling.
Nah,
but,
like
when...
they done some of those videos, and then like, what was it, Gio saying he was the face of the team before
Yeah,
Kenny came in,
yeah, I did. See
like
some of that.
you know, whilst we spoke about them having a washer change done, like
This
you know, I
one,
like the
yeah.
team. I think they're cool. You know what I'm saying? I just think like they've got to make a change to put themselves in a better position to win champs. Yeah. It's just
That's
a
fair.
shame that it's a shame though, because like, you know, they do work well together and they are funny, but you know.
People in chat are crazy. They're saying that their vlog should have been a TikTok.
Little YouTube short. Could have condensed the whole trip into a 1 minute TikTok and paid more.
Couple of things I wanted to get to before we close out the video here. I mean, I guess first of all, we should do like predictions, seedings for the World Championship. I want to know what people think, because I think both of us, or all of us, as much as I'd like Rocker to make it serious, probably these are our top 8 teams for champs.
Yeah.
But the question, I guess, is then, okay, what order do they end the season in? And I guess, like, it's interesting from Ravens down. I think most people would probably say that Thieves, FaZe, Ultra, and Surge might stay in their order, although Surge could easily overtake Ultra. Like, okay, realistically, FaZe or Thieves are going to be first or second. Ultra or Surge are going to be third or fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens, Heretics, or Boston, any of them could probably be 5th, 6th, 7th, and then Optic are going to be 8th.
Whilst we speak of that, Ravens haven't fucking moved.
They are static. They were third not long ago. Remember, they were third.
Ravens haven't moved. They've not done anything. Like, we were like, damn, this Ravens team's actually fucking class. Like, they can cut. Motherfucker, they ain't done shit in like 2 majors. They ain't moved the spot. They ain't done nothing.
This stage, they actually got 2 wins on the board this stage. They went plus 20 this stage.
But like, what's that done from them? I haven't seen them move once. They've just been the same position the whole goddamn time.
Yeah, but
They're gonna get past. They're gonna get past.
I think there's a good chance they get past, yeah. Who do Ravens play? Let's have a look at their matchups, actually. They play Ultra, Boston, OpTic, Rocker, Heretics. Oof. Some important games in there. But yeah, I mean, Boston and Heretics they play. So, like, perfect chance for either of those teams to catch up 10 points. I think Ravens are going to end up like 6th. They're going to get overtaken by one team, but not everyone.
I think Miami passed them.
Yeah, if they carry on with their form, for sure. If they carry on their form, Ravens, yes. Ravens just looked like they were, you know, They were a hot commodity. Everyone was going there, picking Ravens. They were like a viral TikTok food. Now no one gives a fuck. They had their glow up for a major, and I haven't seen shit from them since.
Do you think Surge get Ultra? I mean, they're 10 points between them right now. And maybe it doesn't massively matter, but like if you're, I don't know, third seed's better than fourth seed, but also it might. I mean, right now, fourth seed plays Ravens. Who would I rather play round one, Ravens or Heretics? So that's a no-brainer. So it's almost, maybe it doesn't really matter. Like, but you still want the best seed you can, because then it gives you V2 advantage and stuff.
I think Surge want that third seed. They don't want to see LA Thieves.
Yeah.
They don't want to see that. Because one will play four of it after that.
I don't think they want to see FaZe either.
I hear you. Yeah,
but they beat FaZe before at least.
Yeah. Apart from the final, where they didn't win a map.
No, it's a good way to look at it, actually. Because, yeah, if you're third seed and you win your first round game, then you don't have to play.
To be fair, though, would I rather play Thieves at Champs or FaZe at Champs? I think I might take Thieves on that one.
Oh, you think they're going to be breakers again?
Not breakers. I just think, like...
I pick FaZe at Champs over Thieves, too. I ain't gonna lie.
Like...
I'm playing FaZe. FaZe are compromised.
FaZe are compromised?
You're an idiot.
All I'm saying is...
from rap.
All I'm saying is, how many... I mean, look, FaZe have had this same team, a God Squad. They've had it for years. They only won one ring in the CDL, so...
I do agree. I wish Rocker won one more match this event, just so like we could have the conversation.
I wanted to, yeah.
But
one more, bro. All y'all had to do was win one more.
Like, listen, it's still close. It's not like OpTic. We're not predicting OpTic to go 5-0. Like, it is close, but it's going to come down to that major. And see, this might be the 8 we go to champs with. The seeding wise. Listen, I think Thieves are a more consistent team than FaZe, especially online. I think that's the reason they're first seed right now, Rab, is because of their online splits. They do look like the best team in the game, teamwork-wise. I just think FaZe have a bit more about when it comes down to the crutch. When it comes, like we said, FaZe can win an event anytime they show up. If I'm going for what I think, my breaking point website does not work, so that's great.
Time to get back on the CDL site.
Yeah, I'll have to use the league. I don't know if any of this is right.
Now, the soundings on the league website are right, but like my soundings work. My page works.
Yeah, mine just says not responding. So listen, I'm going Thieves, FaZe, Surge, Ultra, Miami. Bro, could Ravens fall even further?
Bro, imagine they did 7th.
Bro, I got Thieves, FaZe, Surge, Ultra, Heretics, Boston, Ravens, OpTic.
Okay. I would have Thieves, FaZe. You had Surge third. I'll have Ultra. I'll keep the top 4 the same. Top 4 the same. Miami 5th, Ravens 6th, Boston 7th, and then OpTic 8th.
I'm keeping the top 4 as well, and I'm also keeping the top 5, baby. Ravens are turning it around. Dylan Rex is gonna put on a clinic this stage, and they're gonna get like 2 wins, and it's gonna be enough to hold off the charge. So I've got Ravens 5th. Then I've got Boston overtaking Heretics, obviously, because they're the GOATs. Now, respectfully, I'm actually just keeping it in this order. And I've got Rocker beating OpTic. I'm not really.
You're keeping this order?
I'm keeping this order, yeah, I'm keeping this order. I like this order, it's class. Boston play FaZe round 1, OpTic play Thieves round 1, lock it in.
Ian said, would you rather play Ultra or Surge? I'd rather play Ultra.
If you're who? Is that anyone?
If you...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, Surge have made 2 finals in a row and Ultra have made 2 thirds. So I guess technically,
And plus, listen, I ain't gonna lie, like, you know, if Ben Beans comes back and, you know, things ain't going great, you know, it could be compromised.
could be compromised. No, you're not
I'd
wrong.
I would just rather play Ultra just based on the fact that Surge are just a better team than Ultra.
I think it's pretty marginal, but yeah, I think
Ina said, if you're Ravens, would you prefer playing Surge or Ultra?
if you're Ravens, would you prefer playing Surge or Ultra?
You lose both.
I'd rather get an extra sleep in, you know,
Yeah,
and take it.
I'll see you in losers bracket. I think.
Yeah, I'll just go losers bracket because
I honestly would rather play Surge.
I truly believe Ravens will end up with 7th seed.
It might.
That'd be pretty. God, if Ravens dropped down to 7th seed, they play FaZe round 1. They got bopped out straight away. Oh, that's going to be tough. All right, the final thing I want to mention. I don't know if you guys have had anything like this at your events, but Joe Deceives says this. So let me just whack up the audio real quick, unless there's music in the background, which is not, so I can play this on stream. He says you could screen peek the other team's monitors on stage at Major 3. This is what he has to say.
On the stage, they're literally right. Usually.
Oh, there is music in the background. Classic. So, all right, I'm not going to play that out. But point is, he reckons you could peek over and see what was going on the other team's stage, which is, first of all, why we need the stage as their head-to-head back again. I love that shit. But also, you think anyone was cheesing? Any cheese? Because Joe Deceives is saying, yeah, hell yeah, I could look over their monitors, see what they were doing in search. It's big deal. For search and destroy, that's a pretty big deal.
Wait, what happened? He said you could see their screen.
He's saying that, like, if you were the guy on the right hand side of your team stage, you could see the monitors of the other team, because they weren't put, like, usually they'll probably put the teams at a slight angle like this.
Oh yeah.
But they were pretty flat. So if you were sitting here, you could see this guy's monitor, so you could potentially look over and see, like, it's a 1v1 in search. He's here, right? Like.
Oh, okay.
That's the implication anyway. So Joe's saying, you could do it. I didn't do it, but you could do it.
If you look like that though, like, people are just gonna shoot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if Joe Deceives isn't watching, like, his teammate in a 1v1 and he's like takes like a really big stretch back, like leans all the way back.
And then he comes on the comms and says, "FaZe behind you."
Yo, low key could be behind you, and he just like turns on him. I don't think, like I said, I don't think anyone's doing that realistically.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did that.
Was that even possible in an event that you're at?
Yeah, you could easily like lean, like, bro. You could easily like lean back and check, but like, bro, if you do it, you just look so odd. Like there's no normal way to do it without looking like, you know, like they know what you're doing. Like, if I'm on the close side and I'm not watching my teammate in a 1v1, and I'm just staring at the other side, like, bro, they obviously know something weird's going on.
All right, I'm seeing some good replies to this, right? So you know that Super plays like a million miles away from his monitor? Like, he sits hella back in his chair? So, so people were saying that, you know, Super's popping a UAV because, you know, if he's sitting back here, then he might be able to get vision. But I don't know, from this angle, it looks pretty difficult, right? Like, I'm looking at this angle here and I'm seeing... Don't know. It's got to be quite hard.
He's also got 2 players in front of him.
Exactly.
I will say though, listen, majority of the pros, they all wear glasses. I think they're all cheating.
Oh,
they got better vision than the people without glasses. So I'm calling a GA on glasses.
It might be time, Don. It's time to go.
Calling a GA on glasses and contact lenses.
I can't wear glasses. I'm cooked, bro.
No, I got contacts in. This is shit I wear nowadays. I'm cooked as well. My eyesight is cooked.
I really am just.
You are just that fucking guy.
I really am just out there, natural.
Yeah. Raw dog in the world.
I see the world raw dogging it.
So yeah, that's really much where we're gonna leave it for today. But gentlemen, it's been an absolute goddamn pleasure as always. Look, we ran a lot of shows this weekend, so if you guys want even more Dope Check content, then we have all of the pre-shows are up on the YouTube channel on the live section if you guys want to check them out, because we talked about all these storylines in more detail as the weekend was going on as well. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Rostermania may or may not happen. I mean, you know, there are whispers going on right now behind the scenes as to what these teams are going to do. There will be changes. Whether they will be the changes that we discussed or thought were possible, that's a different question. But in a couple of days' time, we're going to find out what the answer is and what these teams are looking like, because they are back in action on this Friday for a major that, with any luck, we might be out there in Dallas to enjoy. So it's going to be an absolute pleasure. I think we killed it today on the show, guys. Appreciate all of you guys watching live on the YouTube or after the fact on the Spotify or anything. I mean, we had like 1,600 live views in here. We didn't even have to ask for likes on the stream. We still smashed it through 400, which is always appreciated. Thanks to all the Generational Hater Club members as well. I know we had a couple new ones over the last couple of shows over the last few days, so appreciate all of you guys. And Trey. Actually, I'll throw it to Don first, because Trey's going to hit us a little outro, because this is what he does.
I'm out here. Yeah, I'm back here.
But yeah, good to have you back, Don.
W show, man. Another fucking vibey ass show. This was a vibe. I don't know why. I just feel like we were just hanging out. We were just vibing. Appreciate all the viewers in the chat. Smashing the like button. Got a lot of viewers, like Rab said. Hopefully, I tried to mute my mic a lot, but felt a little bit sick today, so if I didn't talk that much, I'm sorry. But I feel like today was vibing, man. Appreciate all you guys for watching.
Yeah, listen, absolute pleasure. 1.7K, 1.6K, I think was the max today on the viewership. It's probably been one of our best shows live-wise, so we appreciate you guys for that. If you guys could hit the like button on this live show real quick, whilst I do the outro, we need 60 more likes to reach 500, which would probably be the most liked show too. So if you guys really want to do us nicely with that one, that would be absolutely goddamn special. I appreciate you for that. Listen, a lot of things are going to happen this week. Expect some roster changes, maybe from 1 or 2, maybe 3 teams. Listen, I'm thinking we're back on a Saturday for a pre-show, because that's when OpTic play, and you know we rinse those viewers. We love that. We appreciate that. Listen, absolute stellar show. We done what we could. We done the best we could. Like Don said, it was a great show. I felt like we all hung out as friends. It was just like a vibey ass podcast. Like we was all having a drink together. It's an absolute pleasure. We will be at Dallas. We will be at the major. So if you do see us there, come say hi in a few weeks' time. We'll be back for the pre-shows, then back Monday for another show. We appreciate you from me, Rab, and Don. You guys have a good day. See you later.
Fire us outro. Take care, guys.